Hello, everyone. Hello for totally not another try at all of this. Power totally didn't just go out in the middle of, well, in the start of the last try for an epilogue and make it impossible to continue on. And we have to delay this to now. No, that totally didn't happen. Hi there, everyone. Comrades of the Kong here, ready to bring you some more Shadows of Sharn. And also, very likely, the end of Sharn as well, as we enter the epilogue for the Eyes of Many Detective Agency. Hope everyone's having a fantastic time, and as usual, I am joined by an amazing group of friends. Say hello there. Amazing
Hi.
detectives.
Well, they're amazing detectives.
Amazing detectives.
For those at home wondering, we're not getting paid extra for this session that we're having to redo.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
In fact, the contract says that they actually owe me $50.
What the hell? I didn't sign shit. Hey,
Yeah, no.
I got Tizzy to write the signature for you.
she doesn't have thumbs. She's stupid.
Yeah, that's why it's just a pop print.
She's not smart enough to forge a signature.
But she's smart enough to put a paw on paper that she doesn't know the outcome of.
No,
No, she's
no,
not.
no.
You're
I'm
really
doing
good
that
at
nice
facing this
old
creature.
1800s style of contract for workers.
You.
1800s. That's
Te-
Yeah, before unions.
Teacher,
teacher.
maybe we don't reference the 1800s and holding people accountable for doing certain work. Maybe we don't go down that road. Because of,
The
things.
times.
I think my cats could commit forgery if they wanted to. But they don't want to because they are the most innocent, beautiful creatures in existence.
Don't lie to me.
What the hell?
Oh, hope everyone's feeling good. Hope everyone's having a fantastic time. And let's go ahead and get a refresher on who you all are and who you have portrayed for all Shadows of Sharn. Becca?
Hello, I am Becca, use they, he pronouns, and today for you and all the previous sessions I have been playing Gale Larac or Galen Lore Morales, who both use he, him pronouns, and by Galen Lore Morales, it's still been Gale. It's been Gale the whole time, except for the moments where I am Galen. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing confusing about that.
It's not confusing at all, it actually makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
don't think
I
about
get you.
it.
I get you.
Yeah. Nate knows.
All right. Thank you as well. Johnny?
Hi, my name's Johnny, also known as Johnny Rose. I exist on the internet from time to time. I use any pronouns. I have been playing Velveteen Despero for whatever 365 multiply that by 3 is. I don't know, maybe like 9. I'm excited to finish his story because I think he deserves an ending. Does it need to be a good ending? No. Does it need to be an ending? Yes. I'm gonna pass the mic now to Brian. Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian. I use he, him pronouns, and I have been playing Twister Carbon. He uses he, they pronouns. For the past 3 years, it's been, fun.
It's been...
Fun.
It's been 3 years.
Why does it all sound like we're being like held up?
Hi, it's my
Well-
birthday, and I'd like you to meet my character.
Well, I believe it's for the sole reason we were doing this before, and then God intervened.
Yeah. And I will pass the mic off to Stone.
Hello, I'm Stone. I use they, them pronouns, and I have been playing Achaeus Endo, who uses he, they pronouns, and is officially my poor little meow meow.
Thank you, and thank
What he
you
says
all.
in my notes. This title in my notes. Everyone else has good titles. His is just my poor little meow
Wait,
meow.
what are our titles?
I don't know.
No, I believe they mean as in their original characters and not us.
Oh.
I don't
Yeah,
imagine
and
we
what
pop
character
up
notes.
in their notes too often as anything other than characters.
You always have a character that like is, pathetic.
Yeah.
Like how my Candela character is my pathetic wet rat.
Get out that
Oh,
one
boy.
character.
So Nate,
Yeah. Sorry.
Who are you?
refresh us since it's been.
No, he has to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Gamma Silicon, Nathan, he, him pronouns. I'm the game master for tonight's and all other nights of Shadows of Sharn. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Didn't he do that at the top of the show?
No, I say
No.
hi, I'm Gamma Silicon, here's Shadows of Sharn, and then after y'all go, I go ahead and then reintroduce
been
myself.
3 years.
I like the idea of Nate introducing himself and then passing the mic off to another person.
It's been 3 years.
Like he's-
and 80
he's
and a half
hired-
seconds.
He's hired another individual to handle the session. Anyways, Nate, it's been
It's been.
3-ish weeks, maybe. Do you want to, I don't know, something clever here?
Do we need a refresher?
Kind
because
of.
We're doing this on the top.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Anyways.
like cut into the maybe like 10 minutes of actual game that we got last time.
That's true.
Yeah.
We spent the first time doing a long bit that I don't remember any of, but I think it was mocking Nate,
Well,
probably.
It
Nate,
felt like it, yeah.
Now do us a favor and play that funky music, white boy.
Hit it.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do spoken word jazz.
Spoken word.
Okay, let's hear it.
And that's gonna be the end of that bit. Alright,
It's like,
but
I'm not
yes,
committing
through
enough to this.
A bit requires it to be, a bit.
Funny.
Jesus.
I was gonna say it for sure.
I like how you're like,
Steven.
we need a
Through-
recap because we went too long last time just gabbing and razzing Nate. And
look
here
at
we
that.
are,
We're
gabbing and
gabbing
razzing Nate.
Here, I'll remind the people at
Remix.
home.
I was okay, but
Last time on Shadows of Sharn, we won. Was there ever any doubt? Probably not. I mean, we're the
We-
main protagonist.
We
Well-
absolutely demolished. We wiped the floor with Mordekash. It was an embarrassment for his
All of us
house.
being protagonists.
that was meant to. That was an account that was supposed to be meant for
Term.
like CR 12 characters, and you all just went through it.
We're
But
so strong.
After we won, we kind of went, good job, everyone. And then we found out people died. And it's kind of a bummer, but at the same point, it was like, meh,
We
they're not
still went
real.
and got Froyo.
they're not real. I hate to break the fourth wall here for the people at home. No, this is real.
Listen,
What?
the real to that world.
No, I know. We're just people on the internet. We're actually not friends with you. This parasocial
Whoa.
relationship is not great.
Whoa.
What? I'm letting.
This is parasocial?
No, us
Wait,
with chat. Us
But
with chat.
but I know you through screen.
No. I'm not gonna answer that
Anyway. Ooh.
Um, But yeah, we won, and then we went back home. Home is now in air quotes because some people have moved on, and we're gonna get to that. But I mean, that's kind of what happened last time. We really didn't do much. We won.
We were in a fight.
We were in a fight, and some of us struggled, and some of us didn't.
Some of us struggled. Achaeus and Twister. Some of us didn't.
Definitely not Galen.
Galen and Velveteen.
It's almost as if I wasn't there.
Gale is somewhere in between.
Yeah, banished to a different plane
Yeah.
of existence.
But you
Can't live
live.
another plane of existence.
But yeah, now Nate,
After
like
Yeah.
last time, played give us the floor, set the scene, tell us what we're doing, and then we'll do as such.
through the last several months, within the city of towers of Sharn, of the nation of Brayland, your detective agency, a small collection of miscreants, of weirdos to society or otherwise feeling not quite in place of things, one reason or another to find yourselves within the depths of the city, to collect yourselves within this small detective group in the middle of the most miserable district, you all went on to take on a revenant, a serial killer controlled by demonic blood. Nobles and other powerful members of society who abused said power. All as you built yourself up to take on a grand and ancient foe and stop it from bringing a true calamity upon this world. To stop it from summoning Raktalkesh, the demon lord of violence. And so you all have succeeded. Banishing Mordekash, the powerful Rakshasa aide to said demon lord, to a soul-stealing dagger, where they will remain for who knows how many years before maybe a chance at escape. And here we find you all, within this aftermath of the clash within the city. Skirmishes that have taken place above you all, above the sewage processing plant that was being used as the facility that Mordekash planned to have everything centered from. Demons brought over to... demons of the fiends brought over to try to attack the city and enact more violence stopped, as well as citizens who were controlled by the trace amounts of Raktalkesh's blood that moved through the water. What is it that you all do within the first week?
Wait, I thought I was different last time.
Yeah, last time we just went into what happened within the following year.
And we can just go
Yeah.
into that instead. What happens for each of you within the following year? Before you... as you get your reprieve from Lady Eartine before you are obliged to fulfill your contract with her.
Anyone want to go first? Anyone? No? Okay. Nate, give me the floor, I guess.
Alright, Velveteen.
Well, Nate, I need a beat too. Something like here, but not here. No. Within the calendar year from where we currently are to where we'll be once our contract is up, months, some say 12. I'm not moving out. I'll openly say that now. I imagine others will be leaving. Wink. It's knowledge I already know. I'm gonna take up pickleball. I think that'd be fun. It's funny you didn't laugh the first time, Nate, but you laughed this time when I made that joke. I think Char would probably be my partner in pickleball because you two. I would probably retire from fighting. More likely I am retiring from fighting just because my body is so beaten down and tired at this point, and I'm more machine than man at this point. I would set up some sort of fund to get the homeless off the street. I don't know what we would call that just yet. Maybe the Despero times call for Despero measures.
Oh my gosh.
And then in between now and then, outside of playing pickleball and doing charity work, probably just pondering why I'm still in this city.
Okay. Who's next?
So fucking funny.
What?
Your fucking pun name.
Oh, thank you.
Bro times.
Am I doing both of mine or just?
Oh, yeah, you'll have to do both of you separately again. We'll go ahead and pick one, we'll get to the other one later.
Okay. Who's easier to deal with off the bat? We'll start with Galen.
Galen Morales.
Galen Law Morales. I mean, I think he immediately would probably go to be united with Carmelina and Cyrano. And after that, and then their eventual return to the city, beginning like repairs of their estate and stuff like that. Well, you know, Galen is still working. Obviously, he's a detective. He loves doing that. But then also keeping up with his promises to his parents. Well, Gale's promises to his parents. Because, yeah, Gale made those, didn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Galen was there. He's fine. He's fine with it. But then just eventually just returning back to the kind of normal day-to-day life of Galen Law Morales, a, detective in the big city. Just doing detective stuff. Still, like, probably hanging around, like, the office, but probably spending the most of his time, like, in his actual home this time, since it makes sense for him to be there instead of there. But still around to those who wish to see him, which I don't know who does, but I know at least one person does. So yeah, I mean, that's my answer for Galen in the upcoming year.
Between Achaeus and Twister, who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Twister probably immediately will help out trying to find any other Rakshasa or like demonic presence or influences that are still within the city and try to, get rid of that. Earthquake. After that, though, Twister would probably he wouldn't move out of the house yet, like out of the agency, and would probably still take on odd jobs here and there, like odd detective jobs. He would probably like try to go back to somewhat of a normal life before all of this happened, but also have the detective agency. And then probably by the end of the year, he would probably start wondering and think about maybe leaving Sharn to go on a little adventure, but he doesn't 100% know if he wants to do that yet.
All right. Thank you as well. Achaeus, Gale?
I can go.
Yeah, you go again. And then I'll go again.
Immediately following the aftermath, Achaeus will get his parents and his daughter back in the city, and then will end up moving in with his parents, with his daughter, and start reconnecting with some people that he knew before he left Sharn. He will also immediately get into therapy.
We were already in therapy.
I feel like it went on hold for a bit as everything else got really chaotic. But he'll go back into therapy. Either way, he's in therapy. He needs it. He'll move back in with his parents for a few months, but then it becomes kind of too tense and things aren't perfect or going well, so he ends up moving back out and in with a friend of his, and he'll get jobs from they're friends, relax. He'll get jobs from his mother who'll help him get performing gigs. Yeah, that's basically. I mean, he's raising his daughter everywhere he goes. She goes, and yeah, that's essentially it.
Okay. Thank you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gale?
Gale stays for a little bit in the city immediately after, just kind of making sure everything's sorted and settled before eventually he has to make good on something he promised in a letter. So he would, for probably a long amount of time, return home to see his family again. I don't know how quickly he can get there because I'm even trying to remember where the fuck it is. But I'm pretty sure it's far as hell away.
Luckily, you have plenty of money to spend on any airship travel or train travel to make this go faster.
Yeah, so he would definitely do that and spend time like getting to know his family and everything like that after he's been dead since the morning happened, before eventually he would return back to Sharn, kind of keeping like an eye on the dates just to make sure for the contracts they signed and all of that stuff. Though no, he was him.
He was, yeah.
He disguised himself as actually him to be there, I think, right? Or was he actually there at that point?
He was actually there. I believe they
there.
were separated at that point.
Great. Then yeah, he does actually have to be there. I was gonna be like, well, he's not part of the contract anymore, so but no, he will keep like his eye on the time and make sure to return also just because he wants to return back to the people that he cares about in Sharn.
Where was he?
What?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. That was so long ago.
It was the thing with the ear tames.
Yeah, the thing with the ear tames. But then I remembered that they weren't. Gale was Galen at the gala, and it was pretty soon after the gala. So
Meet with the Irtanes, bodybuilding with the G's is the day before.
So
it
yes,
was the first thing
Gale
out.
was there.
Yes.
Yeah, there was even a comment
thought
like,
so,
wait,
but
I don't know who
was
you
like-
are. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I was trying to and that's what I thought, but then I was like, wait a minute.
Gale
it
was
wasn't that
there.
long
Galen
after
was
the
not
gala.
there, I don't think.
No, Galen was there.
We were
Yeah.
all there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Galen was there too. Gale had to introduce himself as like new to the agency.
New to the agency, and thusly didn't get an invite because he's less popular than everyone else.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, to continue on with this, I got some questions prepared for you all that I presented earlier. I'll go one at a time for now and see how many of these to go through based off of that time. Who wants to have their character answer a question for the remaining time in the
Sure.
epilogue first?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, Becca.
Sure.
What does Gale do for a living when his contract is up?
I think that like after the contract's up, after they do the deal for the Irtanes, I think unfortunately he has grown to like being a detective, even though he's not good at it by himself. So I do think for maybe a stint of time he continues doing agency stuff. If the agency is still operational, if everyone else is doing it, or just trying to do it himself for a bit before being like, you know who I know who's a detective that probably needs a snarky companion? My good friend Galen Lore Morales. It's a buddy cop drama now, besties. So I think he does a lot of that, as well as just getting back into the more performy stuff that he used to do, as well on the side of that. Not necessarily just staying in Sharn, also going out to go like see other places and help solve problems there and stuff. Kind of like the sort of like the mercenary-ish work that he was doing on the side of when he was part of the circus.
Alright. And those also give me another thing as a point for the agency, that Tresh will continue having it run and operational, and she herself finds herself busy doing some help with a particular member of the Sharn Watch, acting as an independent operative in certain detective work, as well as for some occasional bodyguard duty. That's... yes? Yeah. But yeah, Trish and Yana do continue advancing. It's definitely an awkward time for them that first year out, by the way. Definitely mostly on Trish's side.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be okay.
And I can go ahead and give some more NPCs between. Let's see now, another one. These are based off of players. I guess Brian's not going to be answering. So
Brian-
still not Johnny.
Ryan said, "I don't want to participate."
My computer does not like it right now.
Okay,
You're weird. I can.
all right. What are the first things that Achaeus chooses to do with their daughter after all of these events within Sharn?
I mean, why are you laughing?
Because my gut instinct was to be like, kill her again.
Find the highest flight of stairs and just let nature take its course.
No, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. The kid's back. What do you do with your daughter? Zoo?
Abandon them.
Is there a zoo in Sharn?
You've seen one, but it wasn't a good one.
Oh, shit.
But there are probably some better, like, small contained areas.
I mean, for
Wait,
the
what
most
happened?
part,
Nothing, Brian.
I'll just go fuck myself. I'm not gonna answer
No,
this.
sorry, I was fixing my mic.
Brian was actively away from us from this.
Nate asked me, what is the first thing Achaeus does with their daughter after everything?
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to answer. Honestly, he'll probably just like try to slowly introduce her to everything. Mostly for the like keeping her at his parents' house, because it's good. It's like a massive cultural change for her. I mean, she's 2 years old. She's lived on a farm her entire life, and now she's suddenly in a massive city with a lot of people, in a very different environment. So he's gonna take it slow, and just try to make sure she's comfortable and not overwhelmed, and like introduce her to everyone. And yeah.
That all makes sense.
Yeah. 2-year-old going from just massive cultural change.
Luckily, kids can be flexible, and while confusing at first, I imagine things settle into a new normal pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go to one of the NPCs before getting to either Brian or Johnny now. As Tyson Tware's sentencing is swift when it comes to him pleading guilty to all charges on murder and conspiracy presented to him. He is thrown within the Citadel, the prison in Sharn. And for the most general public, it is just a face to be forgotten soon after. But for those who keep their ears close to the ground, within a few weeks of his imprisonment, it is known that after a visit by some lanterns, some of the king's lanterns, that the next day, Tyson, as well as the 20th member of the family who was in there, are both no longer present. Their faces seen occasionally among those en route, always with someone watching over them. Now to the player characters, though. Brian, Johnny.
I'll go
okay.
next.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Okay. You already said that Twister gets ready to explore Sharn, probably after his contract is up, right? Where does he go, and what is his goal?
I think he just, well, he doesn't explore Sharn. He explores the
Sorry, not Sharn yet.
yeah,
Corvair, the continent.
yeah. I would say he probably just goes out, explores around, no goal in mind, just to see what life is like outside of his little bubble. Because he kind of just gets, what's the word for like getting tired of a place and just wanting to explore more?
Wanderlust?
Stir crazy.
It's depressed.
They're all three of those. So that's mainly what Twister's doing, just walking about, seeing different cities, seeing different environments, wanting to explore. He probably comes back during like events or holidays or whatever, and then probably returns after a few years.
Each time he comes back, the beard in a new style.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And so some more NPCs now. Jashar, the golden dragon, continues to stay for some time within Sharn, continuing to monitor to pick up any remnants of the fiends that approached here, pick up any pieces left, and act as a generous member of the wealthier side of society, donating to help with any repair efforts that are needed. Still hidden in these guys from everyone else, but some years down the line, when this persona is needed to no longer be used, and the disguise can't be kept up, it's just reported that the author of many romance and spicy novellas has just taken away from Sharn herself. Oddly enough, a strong, muscular elven man taking up residence in that same abode within a few days. Another mysterious entity who keeps to himself. Johnny?
Yes, Nate. What be your question?
How long does Zeltine stay within Sharn? And if he does leave, if he does stay, how long and does it last? Does he ever want to leave, or does he ever leave but return?
Teacher, I feel like you should ask a different question here, because
Okay.
that feels like an in-game question.
All right. Does Velveteen ever forgive himself?
Does anyone ever forgive themselves? Or do they push it down so far they just hope to not remember it one day? Because no, he would never forgive himself. He killed people and he didn't feel good about it. Went into work for a business that it felt like they were always at the center of big activities that led to difficult decisions, which also in the end led to potentially killing people that didn't deserve death. And then he gave up the last bit of humanity he had just so he had the ability to not fuck up to where the people around him didn't die. Hundreds of decisions he made were to ensure that people around him didn't die, but then people still around him died. So he would, every single day, even if it's at the highest point of the day or the lowest point of any conversation, he would still be slightly blaming himself. So no, he would always kind of have a chip on his shoulder of either annoyance, sadness, regret, or just frustration, because at the end of the day, people did have to die, and he was the one who ended up killing more than he did end up helping. I feel like a long-winded answer for no, but
With another NPCs. Ilsa Boromar. Having been made purposely unaware of her father's engagement with the Rakshasas, and realizing that she had been used to try to become a scapegoat should things go poorly, takes a large chunk of the family fortune, as her father is left to deal with massive consequences that the eldest daughter is trying her best to clean up within the city council. But the Boromars still are struck a heavy blow. Their activities having to be lessened, the profits far less than they've been, as other gangs within Sharn take control of areas no longer under Boromar rule. Ilsa herself staying on the shadier side of things as she knows best, finds a great profit still with the world of entertainment that she lashed herself into. Continuing on with the wrestling efforts, both the more stage variety and the more gladiatorial. Moving on to other franchises within, becoming a bit of an entertainment mogul within Sharn. That she is still hounded by her past throughout the remaining years of her life, and has to keep an eye over her shoulder in case either a disgruntled Boromar agent, an agent of Dask, or just some other poor soul coming to get what vengeance they wish. Alright, next round of questions for y'all. Becca?
I would like to say I found where Gale was from.
Yeah?
I was having the issue because I was looking on the continent of Corvair, not from the continent of Corvair, from Zendrick. From Stormreach, yeah. Literally not from this continent at all.
Yeah, that's a very long ways away.
It's not that far away. It's just south
Yeah.
across the ocean.
Yeah, just within the Land of Dragons. No, Land of Dragons is Argonasin. Okay, yeah.
It's just south. Ask your questions.
Does Galen ever tell Cyrano the truth of when he was temporarily dead?
I think at some point, yeah. I mean, they're gonna live for probably so long. I think I would also like to imagine that if Cyrano was taking his role as he should as a detective in a play, that he should have figured out that something was up weird with his dad.
Yeah.
If he's a true good actor, he should have realized method that there's something up with his dad. So I think eventually, not like probably within like the first decade or so of the aftermath of it, but I think after that first 10 years, like at some point Galen would tell, and Cyrano would be like, that's why you were weird. That makes sense. And he pulls out like a whole conspiracy board of, you know, all the weird shit that happened during that exact time. And then suddenly his dad has a new best friend who he's never met until this very moment.
Now let's go ahead and ask another question with that then. When do you think Cyrano would have started wondering what's going on then?
I think when suddenly his father like actually gets into business with this half-orc guy who he's never met before, and they're just like real buddy like immediately, like they've got a buddy cop routine, they've got a sitcom, right? You know, and I think also Gale, it's hard to break character, right? Is like, oh yeah, Cyrano, I know a lot about you. This kid I've never actually met before right now. So I think like he started to put pieces together pretty quickly on, but then was just like, oh, whatever. I'll figure something out at some point.
Okay. Stone? Unless there's an NPC you all would like to hear their story about.
There's one I want to know about.
There's also one I want to know about.
Okay, but let's hear then. What's the name?
Johnny, you do yours first. Mine's a joke. Mine's a bit that I'm gonna do. You go first. Yours is probably maybe it was a bit. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm curious what happens with operative squeakers.
Oh, okay, shit. I was gonna ask about the Meatungies guy.
I'll answer both of them since they'll be pretty quick.
I thought you were gonna say they're both the same person, and I was gonna freak the fuck out. I was gonna flip my desk.
Operative Squeakers was the Meatungies guy
The
all
whole
along.
time!
Alright, so Operative Squeakers has a nice, wonderful time back within the Tavern estate, back with their caretaker, no longer having to be a spy on you all, and has a nice remaining year of their life as they are a normal rat with a 2-year lifespan. Yes, John?
I spent 3 fucking years on this campaign. That rat lives forever, and I am not negotiating it.
Teacher, that's my rat.
That's my emotional support rat. Thank you.
Don't worry, Operative Squeakers II is available.
What does that mean?
What do you mean by available?
They're going to go ahead and be there for the next 2 years. Actually, 3 years. This is a very long-lived rat.
Oh, okay. This rat hacked the system.
Whereas the Meatungies guy
Yeah, tell me about the very important NPC, the Meatungies guy.
finds a niche business continuing forward thanks to someone wearing a tailored version of a synthetic mimic suit to something as esteemed as the Tane Gala. It becomes a bit of an avant-garde symbol for people to wear to try to look weird or odd, or to kind of like just be that kind of person at the party.
I can't believe you've done this, Brian.
It's so fucking funny.
Oh, Brian, you can't be heard.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I just have my mic muted. I kind of am also toying with the idea that Twister just becomes like
Not a Meatungies tailor.
Meatungies guy.
no a Meatungies model.
Oh my god! I'm gonna. My mom's calling. She says I actually can't hang out. She actually says I have to leave this campaign right now.
Oh my lord.
But you know,
Well, I'm glad you're
Yeah,
just
back
toying
in
with
it.
it and that's not canon.
it's not.
All
Right.
right.
Already
It
said
is
that.
now.
No!
Well,
It doesn't have to be. I'm not deciding that for you. All right, Stone.
What's up?
Does Zacchaeus ever find another life partner, or does he continue to raise Lily on his own as a single parent?
I'm gonna be entirely honest. I don't know. He's got like what 200 years left. It could happen at some point, but I mean, he's got bigger fish to fry at this like at the immediate moment after the campaign. It's not. I mean, he's demi-romantic. The only person who he's ever connected with romantically was Sienna. So I mean, he doesn't actively look for anything. So I don't know.
That's all fair.
It could happen. It couldn't, and who knows?
I have a follow-up question.
What's up?
How much is a scroll of true resurrection? How much money did we get from doing everything? From saving Sharn? Nate?
I'm pretty sure I gave you all the money beforehand, like
Yeah.
what you would have remaining. I think you.
We're also like really important people in the city.
Yeah.
Like we've got to probably know some like really powerful clerics, right?
A scroll of true resurrection is a priceless artifact due to the nature of what the spell costs. It is something that an entire kingdom would struggle to afford.
So like $50?
How
How much could it cost? $10?
You could buy it with the Target gift card.
Oh. Okay, that was it. That was my question.
All right, Brian.
Me?
Does Twister stay tied to his house, commit to the Church of Orion, or find a new path for himself?
He follows the path to dawn. No, I'm kidding. It's Kingdom Hearts reference.
I know. I was about to say Riku. What?
All right. I would say he stays like he doesn't leave the house. So I would say he still is tied to them. He doesn't fully commit to the church as in like he's there 100% of the time. All of this, he's still like holy, he's still a cleric, he still worships, but like he does his own thing. And I think along that, along like the lines of the house, he does start to promote awareness for people that are struggling with oh gosh, why can't I think of the fucking name of
With the Aberrant Dragon Mark?
Aberrant Dragon Mark? I could not think of the name for the life of me. He does start raising awareness for people with Aberrant Dragon Marks because of the rise of them after the morning. And especially probably being a spike after the fucking events that Mordecai decided to do. So he does like petition governments to bring more awareness, not prosecute. He does hear about like how previous attempts at this had went. So before he like leaves the house, he puts on Death Ward.
Yeah.
And I will say, there have probably been one or two attempts on his life.
Most likely, dude. And probably the thing keeping Twister alive through these years of campaigning is his connections, as well as whatever name he's made for himself. Because as the rest of the dragon-marked households would not openly do so, but definitely have a bounty put on Twister to have him removed. But thanks to knowing the wealthiest person on the continent, as well as having powerful allies elsewhere, things don't always go their way. There are close calls.
Mhm.
But you are able to help continue promoting, trying to bring aid to these people given such an affliction.
And something I will say is after like the first 2 attempts, he does get a little freaked out, but eventually it becomes the point where after an attempt, he kind of makes a show about this dragon marked household that's trying to hide the truth about, oh, all of this bullshit of keeping aberrant dragon marks from being as equal as them, and kind of just starts condemning houses that try to silence him. He becomes, honestly, because of the attempts on his life, he probably becomes more emboldened.
Yeah, thank you. Johnny?
Yes, sir.
Does Velveteen ever open up to anyone? Maria herself is set to find a grim death soon after the contract is up herself. Goes at her, or do you think Velveteen is able to open up to anyone else, or does he just try to keep everything to himself instead?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question because I feel like in turn finding someone, then he would potentially open up, but it's also the idea of him finding someone in the city he's currently in probably wouldn't happen because the city itself has been very toxic and not great. So I think it comes with its hang-ups of trusting individuals here after defeating a big bad that had spies almost everywhere, and I imagine that wouldn't go away. So I imagine in this current city, no. But I think if we get to the last question, Nate, then everything can be pieced together like a puzzle. But as of the period in time where he's in this city, no.
Alright. Alright, back to Becca.
Hi.
What is Gale and Char's relationship going forward? Spill the tea.
Spill the tea? I mean, they're dating, obviously. If that wasn't obvious from the fact that they've literally said it to each other, not to anyone else, probably. I think it would continue as that for a while. I do like to imagine that my himbos do get married, and it is just the gayest men in tuxes ever. And then, you know, a little agency reunion at a wedding, probably, or something like that. Probably like Lily is asked to be like the flower girl.
That'd be really cute.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be precious?
That'd be so cute.
Yeah. But I do think that they stay together, just these two kind of idiots. Now one of them's a detective and the other is just kind of a whatever Char wants to be doing, professional pickleball player, maybe. Something along that. Maybe he's a model for me, Tungies.
You know, he would take that up.
Yeah, he probably would, unfortunately. Gale hates it so much. He's so upset by that fact. But he also loves his boyfriend and husband, so... Yeah.
Alright.
I think that's how they'd end up.
You know what? I thought about it. Twister's also a model for me, Tungies.
Hell yeah.
There's some double model shots with them. Just got
Hell
different
yeah.
suits.
Oh, what? Nice, an air genasi and a fire genasi posing together.
Ooh, yes.
What a steamy addition. Do you get it? Do you get the
Yeah.
joke that I just did?
What?
What?
Please
You-
explain it.
Air
Uh-huh.
when warm,
Uh-huh.
fire genasi,
Mhm.
warm, steam.
Gabe. Newell.
Okay, thank you everyone. That's it. It's Stone's turn now.
Alright. Do the echoes of Idolanes last in a cave his whole life?
I need you to define what you mean by echoes.
Either the trauma of the experience, or do you feel like there is something remaining from Idolanes that continues to stick there?
Initially, I was thinking no, but I think there might just be like just a little, not anything significant enough to do anything, but like, I mean, it would make sense with the magic sticking around and everything that there may be just like a little bit in there that does that. It's a little confusing to Achaeus because like sometimes he'll be walking somewhere and feel like a weird nostalgia that he has never felt before for a place, and it's like, I've never been here before. Why do I feel this? I feel like, yeah, that'd just stick around and he wouldn't really get it and it wouldn't really do anything, but that's why the magic stuck around. And yeah. The trauma, yeah, that's there for a while. Yeah,
Are you saying that people can't just get rid of the most traumatizing events of their life within days?
Yeah, who would have thought? Yeah, he has to deal with that for a while because that much stress and fear on a person, because he was constantly just scared for those like entire like months. It really does a number. Like he has bad days. Part of why he moved in with his parents is he's like, I need help raising a child because I'm not going to be able to do this alone. And he doesn't expect his parents to help. It's mostly the staff. Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely a part of Achaeus for most of the rest of his life. He definitely like heals and recovers, but you know, the literal physical scars and the mental scars never really go away.
Brian? Does... What?
I'm hiding.
Okay.
Why?
Does
hiding.
Twister remain a vigilante in the cogs working alongside Orem, or is that something he just stops doing, especially with all the traveling that he does?
Well, he definitely stops it during the traveling. So I mean, he can't be at two places at once. But I will say the year before, like up to the contract, he is with Orem doing the vigilante work. In fact, I'm going to answer two questions with one stone.
Okay.
Probably a week after the events of like after we finally deal with Mordkesh and all that, Twister goes ahead and just out of the blue asks Orem out on a date.
Oh.
And just sees where that goes.
I'd say Orem would be a little bewildered at first, but see where things go, as this would be his first experience in such a matter as well.
Hey! So, that's mainly what Twister would do, and would do vigilante work with Orem for the next year, while also like going on dates and being a great attentive boyfriend. And then while he's out on the out traveling, he doesn't have to send letters. He can just send messages to Orem about what's going on and all this. And yeah, until he gets back. And then when he gets back, he probably does continue unless Orem has stopped by the time he gets back.
I don't think Orem really ever stops until it feels like something that his mechanical body can no longer continue on with.
Gotcha.
It is a cause that he greatly believes in and will continue doing until he literally cannot do it anymore.
Like Twister with his aberrant dragon mark stuff.
Johnny?
Yo.
Is there anything heroic that Velveteen does in the years after besting Mordekash? Or at least helping best Mordekash? And
I mean, I feel like charity work is the default answer here because there's no greater thing to give than to give back. So he would spend years on end giving back to a city and giving back to the people that deserve it, and it unfortunately, and man, it's not great, it not really meaning too much just because it doesn't feel like it's tipping any sort of scale. But that's what he would do. He would need to try and feel some balance of okay just to get through the day, just because it's like, you know, there's a horrific few months that kind of just lasts for you forever. At least that's how I see it. But charity work mostly, and then I guess, you know, probably also going to the local school and teaching children how to use like bows or whatever, you know, fun, silly little things.
okay. Yeah. Certainly its own form of heroism as well. Not all heroes made by those who slay dragons, some by those who lend a hand. We'll go into our last questions, but I'll go in a different order now, as there's some different time frames involved. Let's stick with Johnny here, or Velveteen. You already mentioned that Velveteen does eventually end his wrestling career, so how does he ever let his half-sister know who he is when it's been obvious that she at least has an idea?
This is the last question, like as you said, right?
Yeah.
May I default back to the original first question that I skipped on?
Yes, you can.
No, he doesn't stay here. He leaves. I will say this, he leaves, but before he goes, he would leave letters for his friends. Some of them meaning more important, some of them being lesser importance. Some of them saying kind things, some of them just being just reminders for them. But I think for a good period of time, he would just sit at the train station, though, day in and day out, building up some sort of courage to finally leave. But him ever doing it, I would say, is a mystery, because one of the things he did want at the end of the day was to give all the money to his sister. So him fading off into a realm of mystery and secrecy would also probably be there. So there's never a point where it could be seen that he is still alive.
Just vanishing off into the night.
Pretty much.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
Yeah.
how are these next 10 years for Twister?
I mean, they're good. He does try to like find himself, find what he is when he doesn't have like his house duties. He doesn't have something. He even like sees how he is without his like divine abilities, kind of like just wanting to not use his magic too much. But eventually he does discover that he is like his own person, and comes back to Sharn 5 years later and becomes, well, as I said before, becomes a much bigger advocate for aberrant dragon marks, settles down with doesn't settle down with Orem, but continues his work. And yeah, he would probably still see Achaeus and Galen. That's going to be difficult to get him out of their lives. But, and then he also does his Mitangi's career. But yeah, things are good.
You can say that you and Orem also continue getting closer as well. Do you feel like there's an advancement in that? Or do you feel like it's gonna be one of those, a case of not quite like fully together, but still definitely more than friends?
I will say, after they get back, like after they meet back up, they do like date for another year because, you know, they were gone separate for 5-ish years. And then eventually Twister and Orem do get married, I would assume.
That's nice.
But that's like pretty far down the line.
And all the while, it would definitely be within this time span that I believe Twister would have been emboldened as well with the attempts on his life.
There was an attempt on his life at his wedding. Probably, actually.
The drama.
Yeah, the intrigue of that. Love that.
Drama.
Oh my gosh, that could be a one shot. Hey.
That's for you to write, Brian.
That is.
Time to get your fucking notebook out. It's time for fan fiction, Brian.
Alright. Before we get to something even further along, I believe someone has another scene they'd like to get to. Johnny?
Wait, come on, I said I want to go last.
This would, without these times work, I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I have to send a message real quick. Okay. So, again, I don't know how timelines work, because, again, I don't know where this is and this is. I leave everyone notes. I will say this happens because a wedding was talked about probably 3 days after wedding. I will leave everyone a note, but Gale. Char gets a really nice note, where it's like, thanks for being like the best, you know, pickleball partner. I appreciate it and everything. And if he were to show Gale the note, then obviously there would be a message on the back. It would be like, hey, meet me here. Then obviously it would be the train station. So
Gil would go.
yeah. You would find him sitting there, just like staring at the trains going by. How does one actually leave the city?
From my understanding, it's fairly simple. You hop on a train usually at like late evening, midnight-ish, and it goes anywhere.
Yeah, but how does one board the train without, any regrets?
I don't know if that's possible. Sometimes you
Well-
just board it anyway.
Well, we were planning on leaving soon, and she's already gone, and I imagine she's gonna be upset, but I've just kind of been sitting here.
Hmm.
For those unaware, she is Maria. She got on the train, and I was too scared.
Yeah.
It's been a long period of doing this, and I don't know if I could do this on my own. Is the weird thing.
Like getting on the train? I'll get on the train with you.
Well, I mean, you have a whole life to live now, so
Right, yeah.
I mean, you're wearing the proof on your hand, so
Yeah, a little bit.
but I don't know. This feels scarier than anything else I've ever had to do, so
That's good though.
I guess, but I guess just leaving and having to deal with in a very immediate decision afterwards isn't going to be great. And then after that, it's going to feel like I'll be doing it alone, so I'm kind of just really looking for a definitive answer here for just moral support.
You've always gotten it. I don't know what more I can give to you. I can send you messages basically every day if you desperately want, but it'd also be gabbing your ear off, and you probably don't want to hear that either.
Yeah, but it's kind of going to feel like a part of me won't be there a little bit. But I don't know. I think it'd be for the best if, I just go. But my legs, unlike my arms, feel more metallic right now than these things ever have.
Velveteen, it'll do you a lot of good to get out of this damn city. This city fucking sucks.
No, I know that. Trust me, we've been here for
X number of years. You've
A
been
good-
here for longer.
a good period of time.
Yeah, who's counting?
I imagine a few people are.
Yeah, probably.
But
Listen, you can always write, and if you tell me wherever you end up, if you keep moving from place to place or whatever, it's not hard to get places, luckily, this train and all.
I think I wouldn't want you to worry too much. And
That's what I
would-
love doing. You know I love worrying about anyone that's not me.
I would, it's true. I would very much like for you to worry about yourself for a little bit. And if you want to message me and everything, you can. But
I will.
friendships sometimes with further distances don't last as long. So it's how things might be.
Might be. Don't mean it's true, though.
No, I know, but if this is a definitive goodbye and we don't do this again, this song and dance of ours, or this playful back and forth of this awkward conversation, It's been fun.
But hey, yes.
I think you found the best person. Someone who obviously will take care of you, who will challenge you a bit, but not too much. And I don't mean that in a hurtful way, obviously.
No, I know.
But if this is a definitive goodbye, I'm gonna miss you more than I miss anyone else. That includes my half-sister, who is now insanely rich because, again, I'm dead to this city, and I said any money I make going forward would just go to her. So I'm broke.
You need some money. I know that's not the point of this, but I'm trying to project away from the sad part of what you're saying.
No, it's the charm I always brought to the table.
That's true.
You deflect in a manner, and then you take care of others. I deflect because facing reality is scary.
It is.
But without reality, where would we be? Sitting around a table, playing a game?
Probably.
But if this is reality, and this is one of the last times we at least see each other in person, you keep being you and keep being incredible and keep pushing forward with every single thing you do because you deserve it.
On one condition.
You can't force me to come back to play more pickleball.
That wasn't the condition, okay? That's what Char wanted me to say, but I wasn't gonna say it. Alright? The condition was you do the same.
I will keep going for as long as I can.
That's all one can ask.
But I will never give a timetable, though. But
Didn't ask for one.
no, I know you didn't ask, but I need you to know. For as long as I'm around, or still taking in breaths, you got one special place here, and for some reason, outside of John Denver, several places up here. And
Well,
then,
I'm honored to be among a legend.
I guess the demonic voices that showed up for a little bit didn't like it as much, but
Well, they don't have taste.
no, that's true. And then I will go to stand up, and like most stories, the train does arrive.
Mhm.
And then I walk over to Gale, and I'll just kind of like, it feels weird to hug people now.
I pick him up. I hug him, I pick him up.
I kind of accept it because it's like he no longer has the sensation of touching anything really, so it's just like it feels unfortunately robotic.
Let's still squeeze you.
Okay.
Alright, now get on that fucking train before it gets out of here, and you have to wait until the next one, because that'll just be real embarrassing.
Okay. And then as the train's pulling away, you see a singular tear roll down. And then on the train, Maria is still sitting there. And then you see magic go off as the train is peeling off. But that would put a bow on Velveteen Despero.
Okay.
And
A little bit further, some years down the line, even more. Stone? How does Achaea see off Lily when she's an adult and moves out on her own?
You're muted.
Look. I mean, in absolute mess, would you believe? I mean, I'm assuming this is like she's like 20, early 20s ish. They've both moved out of the city at this point, and gotten like a small farm just outside the city, because Achaeus does not want to stay in the city the rest of his life. But she was raised in the city and has some connection to the city still, so she's going to go back. And so, I mean, this is his daughter who was dead at one point. He was mourning her, so he is proud and just devastated to just see this young woman that's grown up, that he, it was scary growing up, and she was not, it wasn't easy. She got his rebellious side and Sienna's temper, so they definitely ended up butting heads a little bit. But she goes off. He sees her off in like an early morning, and there is someone waiting in a cart nearby for her, a young tabaxi woman who is her girlfriend. And he is just like in tears, and he's, so afraid to let her go. He's got like his hands on her face, just memorizing every line and every freckle on her face. And he tells her that if she needs anything at all from him, that there's no force in this plane of existence that'll keep him from her. He's not too far out of Sharn, just enough to get away from the city, but still have a kind of quiet little farm. And then she'll pull away, and he will watch as she goes and joins her girlfriend on the cart, going back to Sharn. And he'll watch as she kind of disappears into the distance, and he will fall apart completely, because as I said before, I mean, that is, he mourned her for a period of time, but here she is, a young woman, and she's not gone, but it's very hard to let her go. And he's still going to be an annoying dad. He's the cringiest father. He's still going to be annoying. And like, especially like within like the first few months, he's bothering her constantly. Just like, you're eating, right? Like you're sleeping, like everything's going, like you're okay. Like, yeah. It's both heartbreaking, but also a start of a new beginning.
I'll say, in that moment, as the cart starts to come out of view, whatever position Achaeus is in.
Oh, he'll fall to his knees in like despair. Not despair, but just like overwhelming emotion of both pride and just sadness.
I'll say in that moment, it does feel to Achaeus like a strong, firm, warm, and familiar hand holds over his shoulder for a couple seconds.
Yeah,
It almost feels like Sienna is back there, taking in the sight with you.
Yeah, he's also like, he's still got Sienna's wedding band on a necklace around his neck. He's always had it. So he'll just hold on to it.
Oh, as you watch someone else take their future in their own hands. Someone who once had their present taken away. And now let's go to the last question. One of these was already answered when it comes to Galen, pretty much. So, for Gale.
Yeah.
How does Gale meet his true death? And who is at his funeral? How is it performed?
Gale is 47. Him and Galen are in Arenal solving a case that has to do with a cult trying to gain power for Lady Elmaro. And they are nearing the final edge of the case, and big climactic boss battle is happening, essentially, with, Galen and Gale and the other, they're the NPCs with these player characters that they've met for this campaign, and a disintegration spell gets cast, and someone reaches 0 hit points, and all of Gale's belongings just fall to the ground in a pile of dust, and he's gone. The case overall is successful. They stop the cult and the rise of a, whatever the fuck Lady Elmaro is, elf, dragon, lich, who knows. But Galen has to come back to Sharn, to Char, to everyone else, with just a pile of ashes that was Gale Larak. Letters get sent out to everyone of the agency, and any allies from along then that Gale had still kept in contact with. His family is there, his mother, his father, his little sister, who is now, in her 20s, I believe. And it's a fucking banger. It's a great party. It is very sad, whoever shows up, but then, then raucous music starts and there is a celebration of life at the end of it. But even with the stupid mustache and the huge smile on his face, the Char cries the entire time. And so does Galen. Y'all want to be there, you can be. You would all get an invite.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
I think Twister would respond to the news of Gale's death by trying to do something about it.
Divine intervention.
If you roll a D100 right now, I'll scream and punch you.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll just
then,
say that.
Then I'll have to come up with a different answer of how Gale dies.
It is something that Twister would do, though.
I know.
He tries it and fails.
Roll it.
He would cast Divine Intervention, and he would say something like, I need Gale brought back the way he was before the events of his death.
Which death?
His second death.
This latest
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the beast
D100.
comes back.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think Twister would be level 15 or 16 cleric at that point.
Man, if you'd roll the
Especially
69,
after
though,
those, especially after the fucking close calls that he's had. Yeah, he's probably 15 or 16.
Alright, but yeah,
That was heartbreaking.
unsuccessful.
No. But yeah, he'd be crying the entire time.
that's does that make you happy, Nate? Your final question for me? How
Oh.
I die at the end?
Oh no,
That's
it's
kind of
it's sad.
fucked up.
It just felt like the appropriate final question for that character.
Yeah,
A character who had started the campaign
dead.
to see
Yeah.
how it is after gaining life, how
He still doesn't get to live a full one.
Bro, it's tragic. It's so fucking tragic.
there was a fulfilling life in between. If there is anything else anyone would like to say for their characters in this time. Or we can take a quick break and then get into questions with each other as players, GM.
You started to bring the mood down with my
fine.
fucking death. Nate asked me it. Nate
Oh,
sent me
wait,
this
what
question like
age-
months
what-
ago.
What
Total
age?
shift.
What age were you? Wait, what age was Gil? Was Gil when he died?
47.
47. What age is he currently? Like as the end of the epilogue,
I mean,
like end of
End of the campaign.
46.
the campaign.
at
Whoa!
the,
What
at the
year?
end of the campaign, he was 23.
Okay, I only got to live another 20 years.
Yeah,
23.
yeah. He got to live. He got to live long enough to see, a KS be sad about their daughter leaving and then die immediately.
So anyway, I got this thing I gotta go do. Yeah,
I think nothing
I think
else.
that's it. That's it.
In which case, we'll go ahead and take a 10-minute break now to cool off, gather ourselves together, and come back with questions for each other. I've got some prepared for y'all, and I'm ready to answer any sent to me. Well, we all have some stuff for each other or for me as well. But yeah, see y'all in a little bit. Hope everyone make sure to take this time to stretch, get some water, use the restroom, do whatever you need to do to take care of yourselves. But yeah, see y'all in a little bit. Okay. Welcome on back, everyone. Hope you all had a nice little break there. Let's
I
move.
wiped all my tears up.
Hope everyone's feeling
Nathan.
better. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, of course. Did I have a choice?
You did.
What the fuck?
Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move more into general questions for each other as well. I'll go ahead and just start with a question for all of you. What was the motivation for your character's creation? What was the motivation for Gale/Galen, for Twister, for Chaos, for Velveteen?
I wanted to be a dude pretending to be another dude. I think that was it. Well, okay. Firstly, my motivation was I was trying to check Sorcerer off my list, right? My list of all of the D&D classes I've played, even though I'm never going to play Druid, because fuck Druids, I hate them. You've heard it here first. You haven't heard it here first. I'm always talking about it. So I was like, okay, Sorcerer, Aberrant Mind Sorcerer is cool. Okay, and then from there I was like, well, fucked up mind shit. That's easy. Oh, and there's a weird magic thing in this world? Yeah. So it just kind of flew together after I decided that I was going to be an Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. Because of all the Sorcerer options seemed the most, fun for me to mess with.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one.
Yeah, I think I landed on Galen being a detective because you were like, you're detectives, and I was like, okay, well, I can pretend to be a guy pretending to be a detective. Easy.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, definitely went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually did work out for the long run until you had to go ahead and talk to the people that were close to Gale and Gale and be like, okay, here's the sitch.
Yeah. I mean, for a long while, I
Yeah.
don't even remember how many episodes I was just Galen. And then sometimes he would accidentally break character.
I don't think it was until either towards the end of the third arc of things, or it was after that
It was when
You
we were
had
doing all
to-
the dream shit
yeah.
with Booster's dad.
Yeah, so into the fourth case.
Yeah.
I guess I can go next.
Mhm.
Well, I wanted to cross off another one on my list that I haven't done yet. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. And then everyone was choosing characters. I'm like, we don't have a healer. So I went cleric, and I saw Peace Cleric. I'm like, oh, I have to do this because I wanted Twister to be a kind of.
Well, your idea for what Twister was is very different than what Twister ended up being, right?
Yes. So Twister's the idea that I initially had for Twister was someone that was front face was oh, I'm this very nice, very peaceful, very helpful person, but then under that face, under that mask would be someone that is very much an antithesis to that. That's how I was dealing with him in the first case.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, this doesn't feel like Twister. This doesn't feel like how he should be. And so after the first case, that's when I started playing him how I actually did play him. As someone that is nice, wholly nice, wholly peaceful, and holy, but also is associated with a group of people that are just seen as barbaric, as evil, as people that just cause mayhem and havoc and all of this. But how can Twister do that if he's so nice? And I kind of wanted to show that with him.
Yeah.
Needed that contrast.
Yes.
There was definitely a showing of contrast with. I don't think any of you remember the character Darnik Klex, who was half halfling, half goblin, is there for the first case spying on you all.
Do we remember the one Twister almost fucking
Yeah.
murdered like 15
Yeah.
times? Yeah, I remember.
Twister almost killing him the first time, and then like the next time, Twister met Darniklax, being like, "Oh, actually, I'll help you out around," and then like the last time, actively trying to save their life.
Twister was the only one advocating to
Yeah.
save his life. Everyone else was like, "Fuck him."
Fuck him, he works for Idolanies, let him die.
You worked for Mordecai.
It was
One of the
Mordecai.
two of them, same hat. Same fucking dude.
Yeah, thank you as well.
I can. I wanted to play Scythe Wielder. So, you know, Farmer was kind of the immediate choice there. And then the Endwalker expansion of Final Fantasy 14 had just come out.
What?
With
is
the with the class, the Reaper class, which the backgrounds of the Reaper class is they were farmers who had to protect their crops, so they made deals with Void Sand, which are creatures of darkness, to gain powers to protect their farmstead. And so I sort of dug into that a little bit with going for Warlock, which is you make a deal with something to gain powers. I don't remember exactly how I got to the whole kills the family thing. But I was also like, but I also want him to be from Sharn because I don't know if anyone else is going to be from Sharn. So it was like, okay, well, he needs to go from Sharn to outside of Sharn, back to Sharn. So he ran away and he had, you know, weird relationship with his parents. And yeah, that's kind of how he just came together like that. Yeah, and I don't remember how I got to Idolani's killing the family.
You just wanted someone with a fucked up background.
You were like, this is gonna be like a
Yeah.
grim, dark campaign. So I was like, I guess I'm going for dark ass bullshit. So murder. I also wanted because when you initially pitched the campaign to us, you were like, I want everyone to have a secret.
Yeah. A dark secret, yeah.
Yeah, a dark secret. So I wanted his secret to be something that even he wasn't aware of. And came to light later on in the campaign.
All right, thank you as well.
Can I add something?
Sure, go ahead.
On mine.
No.
About like my parents. Twister. I came up with the idea of him like joining House Tarkanin, but I was like, how would someone like this join House Tarkanin? And I just went with, well, his dad and his mom were in House Tarkanin, but he wasn't because he didn't have an aberrant dragon mark. So I just went with his dad went missing during the morning. I full transparency was like, he's dead. It was Nate that brought him back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, he's like, that's it. And then Twister joined House Tarkanin because of his dad's disappearance.
I will also add in that with that dream case where the dad came back, there was a story thread that was going to be going on through the campaign. That might not be the real dad. That was just a dream of Twister's that was made into reality. That there would be a thing about the shape of dreams and how they are the wishes that we hold within, and sometimes that they can manifest in a way like divinity, causing a prayer to become reality.
You almost had your own Silent Hill, but with your dad.
Yeah.
You almost Silent Hilled yourself.
But I also ended up thinking about that for a bit. I was like, that I feel it's a little bit too mean and rude to do. It doesn't really fully fit into everything else with Sharn, so I'm just gonna take that story thread out. That's why there was, for a little bit, like, one of the first things Mordecai said to Twister being like, hey, how do you know that's your real dad, by the way?
Sow the seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
Mordecai's more like Morta bitch.
Yeah. Johnny, how about your character creation motivation?
Well, for those unaware at home, when we started this, we had different individuals at the table. Said individual lasted a few sessions. My character was built off of interacting with that character's player's character for a good period of time. And it was a back and forth thing of writing certain things, and then that person left. So I was sent into scramble mode and kind of threw together a 5-minute cake. And what we got was a very sad Flan who was kind of depressed all the time. So, alternate universe, you get a different character, but in this universe, you get a sad Flan who had guns, but then I regret giving him guns because he's a white man with guns. So, he was a very broken individual from the very start, but he came together across the campaign into what he left as. So,
Okay.
I wish I could give a better answer, but the character
that's
that
okay.
I wanted to, I know, but the character I wanted to play never got to happen. So, it is what it is.
Any questions any of you have, or would you like me to continue going down this list of questions for the group?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
What was the consequence of drinking the blood that Mordecai gave us?
Oh, at the start?
When
Yeah.
Mordecai brought Achaeus' family's bodies and was like, drink this blood, and then Achaeus did, what was the mechanical consequence of that?
That would have been twofold, depending on who it was for. Like, when it came to the Achaeus, it was twofold thing of Mordecai knowing about Idolanes, and that Idolanes would want to have something against Mordecai in turn. So Mordecai was trying to go ahead and get the jump on things there by making Achaeus a weaker force, allowing Mordecai to come back sooner, so Mordecai could be prepared and just beat Idolanes then. But also, it would have been that if you survived, then he would be easier to control down the line yourself by Roxalkish's blood for anyone. But that ended up actually happening.
How did that make Achaeus weak? Yeah, it was like, how did that make Achaeus weaker?
It would have... When it did come for a time for Achaeus's deal with Mordecai, whenever there was a DC that needed to be done outside of the actual fight against the Lich that had to do with Mordecai, that would raise or lower depending.
Idolanes or Mordecai?
Sorry, Idolanes. I got it mixed up there.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's
Sorry, Idolanes. Anytime facing the Lich, outside of facing the Lich, when it came to Idolanes, there'd be DCs for a case to make, where I had the number go up and down depending on the blood drank, as well as other things that Idolanes could have got set forward for Achaeus to become mentally weaker when it comes to fortifications.
Okay, but what was Mordecai's? So you said it was to weaken Achaeus?
Mordecai, yeah, it was to make it easier for Idolanes to come back because Mordecai wanted to go ahead and get the jump on things, rather than wait for Idolanes to get better prepared.
Got it. Okay. Because I was expecting it to come up. What I was expecting was, because you set it up with the what was it, the Deneths, when they were trying to blow up the tower or whatever.
Yeah.
Mordecai started controlling them via the demon blood, right? So I was expecting that to kind of come up in the last battle with okay, it's drank it, so that's gonna affect him somehow, but I was just surprised that it didn't. So I was curious, like, what exactly the mechanical consequences Mordekash wanted out.
Yeah. Mordecai, by all means, also just wanted to fuck with everyone.
But he's a dick, so.
I have a question.
Yep.
So that would have happened to Achaeus. What would have happened to any of us if we drank it?
Well, most of the thing of probably I try to make you easier to control down the line. It definitely would never have happened to Gil or Galen, especially with everything that happened, because it would never actually fully fit with a dead body. And then there was the bodies that came to be way too late into the process.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, that would have been that if there was a decision that you all kind of like got yourselves really filled with the blood, like if you actually drank some of that pure stuff that was handed out instead of the stuff that was split apart and solved in water so much, then that would have probably made it something Mordecai could actually cause you all to turn into forces for him. But because that was never done, it ended up not really being a thing to worry about.
Teacher.
Yes?
Teacher.
Yes?
So going back to the, for lack of a better word, Dream Daddy case. That case was the one that, like, Brian and I, as I believe you said, had like different routes that we could have gone down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What were those? What like were the? Because like, obviously, I think we both got our good endings of that arc, i.e., getting Dad back and getting Galen's soul.
Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, there
I'm
were
just curious
actually
what the other
paths.
options were.
Well, there are a bunch of paths for everyone, actually. Just not with that case. It was,
Yeah, but I care about me.
yeah.
And I care about me.
When it comes to the Gale
Brian and I were
and
the same type, so.
yeah, when it came to the Gale and Galen thing, it was all dependent on how those two souls came to continue on with that story. There was an idea for if... Oh, there was the one that happened where you were able to get Galen, who also was part of that story thread to be maybe not be the real Galen, but a wish brought, like a dream brought into there. But that Galen, you're able to go ahead and bring in, have a nice time with. Everyone was just equals, no animosity, no issues popping up. So you got the good route there. There was an idea that Galen would have ended up taking over Gale, not necessarily wanting to, but that just being how it moved on. There was an idea for Gale taking in Galen, but consuming that soul accidentally. And there was an idea that it doesn't come true. Galen just can't enter the body at all, is forever lost, a soul wandering the wilds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for Twister, okay, the idea, the one that you got was where you called to your god and got a divine intervention of sorts without you calling for it necessarily. But there was also stuff where, like, I think I mentioned this to you in person before too, that there was also the idea that Twister responded to that primal voice calling from within, which would have caused your Aberrant Dragon Mark to immediately go to its highest, to not just form, but to go to its highest possible level immediately. So you get an epic boon, but you also would have gotten a terrible price to pay at the same time.
Oh shit.
There was the idea that you were also unable to rescue your father, which would destroy parts of Twister's mind and soul itself, making him completely unable to interact with the plane of dreams. So he would never be able to dream again.
That almost happened because we were trying to close that door on your dad.
Yeah.
I was desperately trying to get that dad
It
to
was
not
literally
come back.
like, if I had failed that turn, the portal would have closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was also the idea that you weren't, that you succeeded on saving your father without using either that primal voice or by using the power of Orion, where Twister would have gotten some paladin features, being devoted to his own power within.
Oh shit! If I had gotten that, I probably would have dipped into sorcerer.
Hey, get out of there.
Yeah.
That's mine.
But that would have been pretty cool. I got a good ending. I got a good ending.
Yeah, we both got the best options.
Yeah,
Of
I would
that
say I would say either the Orion one or the just do it yourself would have been like the best one, like depending. But yeah. Ooh, that.
Yep.
What would have been the mechanical consequences of those? Because I know that you mentioned some for me, but what about like Gale? Or Galen?
Oh, sorry, for Gale or Galen. All right, there was. Okay, the one that was given was allowing the Echoing Soul Dark gift,
Yeah.
which is what allowed Galen to talk. The one where the connection would be splintered and destroyed, Galen left to wander. I would have given Gale the Portent ability from Divinity Wizards.
Fuck! I love Divinity Wizards! That would've
Oh,
been
is
so
it?
sick.
What's
Fuck.
Portent again?
The one where you roll
Yeah.
2d20s at the start of every day, and then you can use them on for any d20 roll ever?
Oh,
Fuck, I love
Yeah, it would have been because you would have gotten some knowledge of Galen's at the same time. You would have seen Galen's final moments, and those would continue to echo through Gale's mind before waking up.
Yeah, can we go back and kill Galen?
Let's see now. The stagnation ending would be if.
You've named them all. That's very cute. It's
Yeah.
like, what's the dog ending?
Okay. Oh, I just named separation. You got reunion. Stagnation is would have been like Gale consuming Galen accidentally, and there would be no progress able to be made because of that. And instead, Carmelina would have made a special suit or found a special suit of Galen's that was going to be a magic item to be given to you.
Aww.
The other.
Yeah,
the
just
other-
ate her husband.
Yeah. Yeah, the other ending, unification of Galen consuming Gale, would have been the symbiotic being Dark Gift.
fuck.
I don't know what I have.
Yeah, that's what you ended up kind of getting. You also got to be essentially immortal because of what you got through your personal story, because you got turned into a soul cage.
Your gift. You got to
Mine.
be. You got the blessed gift of
Which
Mine.
almost came to be shown immediately when Mordekash pushed Achaeus off a moving airship.
Yeah.
And then you
Oh.
all saved Achaeus before he splattered
Yeah.
on the ground and could resurrect immediately.
I say.
Yeah.
That was all my doing.
Y'all remember when I cast Dispel Magic on a flying car and it just crashed and Nate was so upset?
I wanted a cool airship fight and it just went away immediately.
It was funny. That's what he would do.
Oh no, it was smart.
But it was very funny.
I mean, I can also go over everyone else's. Let's go with Twister since we said Beast Within was breached to the Primal Voice. I already mentioned that about the Aberrant Dragon Mark. There's the God Within, which is what you got, where you got the True Judgment Shield. So now, Dream Stolen is the one where you would not be able to dream, but it'd also be that you no longer sleep at all, but not needing to get benefits of a long rest. And you'd also be able to cast Fear once per day. Love Regained was getting into your own power. That's where you would get some Paladin features. Velveteen's was about his path of revenge during the case against the Dedeniates. There was one ending, Revenge, where he went very far into his feelings of revenge against the person that stole his arm. The Fueled by Hatred, the Dragon Mark would turn into an Aberrant Mark, and Velveteen would be able to get a bonus to his attack rolls whenever he had Hunter's Mark on someone. Also a +1 to con. Supercharged would be a new prosthetic, or an upgrade to the prosthetic. And I think, yeah, pretty sure that's the one in the... No, that's not the one you got. The arm would have 5 charges. There would be different things you could use those charges for like spells or other abilities. And you ended up getting the Vindication route, which gave you a custom feat called Love and Peace for Trigun, allowing you to get proficiency and persuasion and performance, as well as ability to make people charmed by you and your wacky antics. Let's see now for Arceus, there was the control path, which is what you got. Given the...
What was there? Were there any better paths?
Sorry, no, that wasn't control. You got unsure path,
Oh, good.
which is a symbiotic being. Control would have been that you actually dominated Idolanes and got the Living Shadow Dark gift.
That's hard.
And you would have
How
made
would I would have
Idolanes...
done that?
Idolanes would have been a thrall to you instead.
Put me a
How
little
would I would
collar
have
on
done
him.
that?
Put a little mask on him. A little leash.
It all depended on, like... Gosh, this was back in the 5th case, I believe, how things went there. Dark Path. Arceus takes the blood and fully becomes consumed by Idolanes. So it would have been technically this would have been the even worse one, because you would have died and come under my control. I would have you just roll a new character.
That
Whoa.
was my initial plan for the character at
Yeah.
one point. It was the idea that if it goes too far further along, then I literally just lose the character and I'd have to make a new one, which I never made a backup character. So it would have been, but that was an idea.
Yeah.
So
I made like 2 backup characters for this game.
I did not.
One was a snake cowboy, and the other was a serial killer.
Oh.
I did have recently that I kind of wish I'd done, where for the first few cases it was a chaos, and normal chaos, Broody, my family's dead, all that, and then like a chaos just disappears, and then Sienna's like, "Hey, you see my husband?" And it's like, aren't you supposed to be dead? I wish I would have done that. I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah, the final path for Arceus is actually where you eventually got to the free path, where you remove Idolanes. And I would have you
Instead
just
of
completely
Idolanes
change your character if you wanted to. Make a
And that's
new
what
class.
happened.
Instead of Idolanes removing themselves.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
where you eventually wound up with Arceus still, because when Arceus was able to turn Idolanes into a power to feed off of within instead, like turn the tables around, I did give you the option to just change Arceus's class
Yeah.
completely.
You did, and I stuck with Warlock, but I don't even remember how long. I was like, I think he would be Bard, as kind of a weird combination of the 2 magics. Yeah, that was so that was like, it was a weird ending.
Okay, I got a question. So, True Judgment, you mentioned that to me, that True Judgment acted like, shout out to Critical Role, a vestige of Divergence.
Mhm.
And that it had 3 different stages. It only ever stayed in its 1 stage. What were those other stages, and how was I able to even get to those?
You found other methods to progress that made it so the shield never seemed to be necessary. During the Idolanes fight, there was a chance for you to upgrade it then, as well as during the Mordekaiser fight, but never really needed to be needed. I actually never wrote down what the Exalted form would be because it never ended up coming out, and I never thought it would be a thing anyways. The Awakened form, you would have been able to cast Zone of Truth once a day without using a spell slot. And if you did so, shapeshifters would have to show their true form regardless of making the save or not. And you also would have got an advantage on history checks.
How would that even come up in the Idolanes or Mordekaiser fight?
A similar thing to the homebrew campaign that I had with y'all, with 2 of you off stream before, when I would power up magic items for you during devastating moments. If Chaos died, that would have been a trigger to let True Judgment come to another stage.
Well, but then you made it Chaos impossible to die.
No, during the
Not
Idoli's
during
fight.
that fight.
Oh,
When
okay, well,
Chaos almost got bit by
Disintegrate.
Disintegrate. And had the luckiest roll out ever.
You know who did get hit by Disintegrate?
Disintegrate's such a fucked up spell. Like, really? Just immediately dust. Oh my god.
Yeah, imagine doing that to someone's character.
Hey, they got better.
Yeah.
We just had to kill someone to fix it.
Okay, so if it had to be at like some sort of devastating moment, I would have thought that the Denieth fight would have been a trigger.
That wasn't personal enough.
Okay, that's fair.
And you got some other bullshit going on with Divinity then anyways.
Yeah. What is that about?
What is what about?
The ability that I could remove demonic blood.
And that was just a thing at the time. It's like, I mean, we can go ahead and workshop a way around for how clerics work to try to get this going.
Okay.
And like that's what we even said in the moment. It's like, I mean, this is something you shouldn't be able to do, but we can try it with the rule. It's, yeah.
Sometimes that just happens. You're just like, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Let's go with it.
Yeah, it's like if another spellcaster were to be like, okay, let's get a magical effect to occur. It's not an actual spell that's made, and it's not really going to be a spell to cast, but how about a ritual to do instead? It's like, okay, we can get something set up. Just tell me what the ritual is, and we'll see what kind of roll to go for there. All right, anyone else have any questions at this moment?
Man, I don't have to ask another question unless someone else asks one.
Alright, if not, I'll go ahead and give another group question. Let's make this twofold, actually. Everyone's favorite moments in the campaign, and everyone's most stressful moments in the campaign.
I'll start.
Jesus, whoa.
My favorite moment in the campaign was Twister getting his dad back. My most stressful moment in the campaign was Twister trying to get his dad back. But, you know, it happened. It was good.
Is this one y'all want to steal on for a bit while you answer different questions?
I don't know my favorite, and there was just a lot of stressful. It was a very stressful campaign for me.
My favorite moment, I think, is when I was given the ability to swing among the buildings with ease and nothing bad happened. And I don't think at any point there was a stressful moment in this campaign.
Shout out to when you fucking swung at an H.
I don't remember that, Brian. I don't know what you're talking about.
That never happened. What are you talking about?
Oh wait, no, you're right. You're right. Wait,
Yeah,
wait, I'm
your
bleeding.
memory's going, Brian. What are you talking about?
My favorite moment was when a bouquet of flesh flowers were left on Twister's windowsill.
No, we don't talk
That
about
was
that.
so fucked up.
That
I
was my
loved it.
favorite moment. It was so good. It was so fun. My most stressful moment was any time that Gale was having to talk to anyone Galen directly knew. Especially his parents. Oh, and then when I was keeping the big secret that I did blood magic from everyone.
Hey,
That
luckily you don't
never
need to
came
keep
back
on
to
going.
bite me in the ass.
Oopsie, I did a little bit of blood magic.
It's definitely some rules I'm keeping going forward for other campaigns, though. Just in case it ever comes up.
I mean, it was a good rule. I just hacked the system by getting rid of both the body that I did it on. So, yeah.
Actually, a question for everyone.
No.
What was your favorite case?
The one with the flesh bouquet.
The serial killer.
Yes.
Johnny?
Casis.
Oh.
That's good.
Hey.
That's good. That was a good one.
Unironically, I think my favorite case is probably the flesh bouquet one.
Nate, we
It
all
was just so
flesh
unhinged.
bouquet.
You just
It was-
love a good serial killer.
It was
case.
so unhinged. So we never did get to the point. Well, I guess going off of the serial killer one, we never did get to the point where Twister got kidnapped by the dude. Like, what did you have in mind for like if it got to that point?
Would you
Let's
have been
see.
serially killed?
Oh, yeah, there was a chance.
That's so
Like-
exciting.
Yeah, there's a chance that Twister would have eventually been kidnapped. But
it's
there
just
was-
like Baldur's Gate.
But
Yeah.
how so? Like especially when we had all the added measures. Well, the whole.
When you had all the added measures, it definitely became a much more difficult thing, and it almost took that possibility out. But at the same time, the case would have continued to progress as what happens to most serial killers, where they get more sloppy and more impatient between kills, and they would just gotten into a frenzy and just got onto a more obvious thing. You would have been more easily able to track them down and find where they are. Heck, they might have just been out in the public trying to mow people down, and when you come across them.
I have a question. Nate, how do you know that?
Because I listen to True Crime.
True crime.
Yeah, True Crime podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a pretty common thing that serial killers enter at a certain point. Yeah. Unfortunate as a
Mhm.
true crime listener.
Just a follow-up thing real quick. YouTube, if we go missing, I think it's pretty obvious who did it.
We go missing looking.
Alright. Stone, did you have an
Okay,
answer
Nate's
for
run
the
history.
moments, by the way?
I mean, I don't know about favorite. I mean, there are a few good ones.
Flesh bouquet.
Flesh Bouquet was really good. I don't know about favorite. There were some, but I mean, for stressful moments, there was just a lot. There were a lot of stressful moments. I mean, like literally for months in game, I guess was stressed like the entire time. So it was just basically at any time, Case was just sitting there like, I can't fucking do shit, and I'm gonna lose my body, and I'm very stressed about it. And every time I had to enter that headspace, I got stressed. So, a lot of things are just stressful for me. I
Alright.
can't narrow down a specific. I mean,
No, that's
also
okay.
also anytime I had to make like a roll that was like critical, because I rolled so poorly the
Hey,
entire time.
make a wisdom save.
Any wisdom save, anything that was like a critical roll. Shit, I know.
Wow.
I know.
Can we
Wow.
stop sponsoring them, please? They don't need that much
I'm
attention.
not. It's not on purpose. Anytime I had to make something critical, it was like, I roll so poorly that I'm gonna fuck it up. That was. That
I don't
got
know if you
stressed
even
out.
rolled a natural one that often.
Listen.
I didn't roll a natural one that often. I just rolled bad.
Listen, things could get very serious, and sometimes, you would Matthew Mercer. I mean, Critical Role. I mean, other characters.
I just like my note here that says Twister had skin delivered at his window.
Alright, I'm going to
And
go
this- the start of the notes on that one. A new murder! Exclamation point. Ooh, so excited.
Alright.
Why was Gil so excited?
New murder.
I'm gonna go ahead and build off of that as well with another pair of questions put together. What are your favorite NPCs, and who were your favorite villain?
Lesbians?
I was gonna ask that.
Lesbians are a popular one. We love the lesbians.
My favorite
villain.
favorite NPC would probably be Orem.
Gay. Oh, my favorite NPC would be Char.
It
Does Galen count as a... No, Galen's a player character of mine, kind of.
was fun playing Char, by the way.
Oh, good.
I liked playing that himbo.
Good.
My favorite villain actually is Hallis.
Operative squeakers.
Good villain.
Good villain.
What?
No,
he stole all of our cheese at times.
He did.
True.
It was fucked up, actually. My favorite villain... Who's that? What the fuck was his name?
Who?
The wannabe vampire bitch boy.
Oh, Renfrey?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was
so
the most pathetic
lame.
cat, and
He was so
Remember when he
lame.
fucking was trying to go after Tyson because at the gala, and he just destroyed it.
He just
with
ate
that.
shit.
He was the lamest villain. Like, he was like a vampire wannabe who was like teaming up
And
with
I-
Idolanes.
He
I
was
love
fucking-
that about him.
He was
was
so
fucking-
lame.
He was a
Listen.
wet towel.
He could have. There were ideas for him to be more menacing at some point too, but because of jokes going on, it's like I'll kind of like go into this a little bit. He'll still try to be threatening, but he's not your biggest threat. That was the thing of like, if that case went poorly, one of the endings would have been that he just slit Whisper's throats. Not enough to kill her, but enough to make it hard for her to ever sing again, even if with a good recovery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's obvious that was been a big sensation, but obviously things never actually got to that point.
Yeah, he was too much of a boy fail. Another NPC I loved, that big sexy elf werewolf guy. The werewolf elf.
Yeah.
The big sexy elf guy.
So
Yeah.
valid. We love a good werewolf elf.
Okay, I put something in this.
What did you do? Oh my god, that's him. I should get a picture of him.
Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah, no, my favorite villain is Hallis. I actually really like Hallis as a character.
Yeah, Alice was one of the first characters I even came up with. His old backstory, the tie-in with Tyson, that was like joined together with Mordekash on my ideas for villains, with Hallis originally supposed to be the final villain, the final face-off. But things progressed differently in the story. That made sense to kind of like take that off
because
course.
He's not wrong. He's
Yeah.
right, actually.
Yeah, he's
He is
not wrong.
correct.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah.
He's a sympathetic villain.
Yeah, I also would say that if you all didn't stop Rock Talkesh's portal, especially so well, then Hallis would have pretty much done something to force the shade of Rock Talkesh to be embedded with him as he separated from Tyson. So that way he would be able to send himself back through the portal, going through this eternal torment, but stopping Rock Talkesh with the way things went. But that was also not needed, so he's still conjoined with Tyson and whatever is happening in that side of things. Also, for the fighting thing, it would have been a multi-part fight. Of
But
having
there's
to
only
deal with
one
someone
fight.
trying to talk about, like, yeah, that's not necessary, but yeah.
So the Mordekash fight was like, we know it was supposed to be a multi-part fight, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
stopped it at phase 1.
Yeah. And it could have gone much differently depending on some rules. Like that one roll I had for like D10 that was decide how many turns until Rock Tolkesh is able to get through the portal.
Yeah.
Or at least get partially through it.
So, what were the other phases of the fight?
Well, there's the Shade of Rock Tolkesh. Since I'm not gonna force you all to fight a level CR 26 or 27 creature at level 10.
Appreciate that.
That seems fine.
Yeah.
I think we would have made it through.
Yeah,
And
we
things
would've been
went
fine.
very
Galen hadn't
fucking
lost
well
any
for
hit
you.
points.
Yeah, just have Velveteen just go at it for one turn with action surge.
Not to mention the second bottle of haste I never got to use.
True. And holy weapon.
Also, then hear from Solar Johnny your NPC and villain choices.
I said operative squeakers.
Oh, okay. Wait, for which one?
For
Yes.
favorite NPC.
Okay, okay.
That was a genuine response.
My favorite villain, operative squeakers.
It wasn't a bit. I'm the bastard man that took my arm originally.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Can't think of his name.
Eh.
He's not alive anymore, so it doesn't matter.
No.
And he smells
name
of
was
sulfur and has
Cameron.
white powder on his neck.
Iron Stone?
I don't know.
Okay, you didn't like any NPC.
No, I'm just bad at choosing favorites. I like the points that Brian made about Hallis, where it was, it was a sympathetic villain versus Mordekash, who very much we just kept dumping on every chance we got. Whereas Hallis was actually like, oh no,
yeah.
you're right.
Talking with House was cool.
Yeah, like Hallis was a really cool character. And a really a sympathetic villain. So I did really like Hallis. I don't know if he's my favorite, but I did really like him. I don't know if that's both NPC and villain because he didn't
It
end
can
up
be.
being a villain. Of course I liked Tresh and Yana. I liked Yana being it's oh, we do have a cop who's not a cop.
I mean, that's even
Yeah.
something that's in the Everon book is hey, if your characters are in Sharn and they need to have a good person who's a good moral compass who is unfazed by the shitty side of the city, introduce them to Yana. An uncompromising force of good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good character to have in there because the Sharn's a fucked up place. You need someone to bring that contrast of hey, there's still some good in this shitty city.
Yeah, gonna have to get your Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess Hallis is my answer for both because I did really like that character.
There was something I was going to bring up now. I can't remember.
Well,
That sucks to be you then.
Yeah, get smarter, Brian. Come on.
Okay, wow. All right. Fuck me, I guess.
Brian, I piled on. I didn't initiate. Let that be known.
my favorite NPC was the waiter at Oregon's Famous Chops when we got served
Oh.
sword fries.
My favorite NPC is the Mitungis guy.
Hey,
Alrighty.
yeah, there it is.
The return of
And my
the
favorite
king.
moment is Twister and Char getting the model.
Oh,
Return of the king.
My favorite moment was getting a magic item that Nate thought was too powerful, even though he put it in the game himself.
Yeah.
And he homebrewed it himself, and then it was the thing that made us succeed the whole campaign.
Yep.
It was really good.
It was,
really good that came in there.
it was a random chance. I put it in there. I had to face the consequences as the GM.
Yeah.
All right. There was one more question for you all, but I think that's all that we can kind of like work our way through, since that's just whenever y'all have questions, honestly. I'll go ahead and start with some of the individual ones for you all. All right.
Oh, good. I know which one you're gonna ask me, and I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
Sonny
I'm
already
ready.
answered some of these along the way as well, so it's me looking to see which ones are good.
I'm ready. I know which one.
All right.
I know which one. Hand it over. Hand it over. Give it.
Fine. Why give an old New York accent to Galen?
Because that's funny. Because it says 1920s, and I was going for a 1920s kind of announcer and Cora kind of vibes.
It's very funny to do a voice.
Yes. It's, you know.
Galen Morales.
Galen
Galen
Morales.
Morales.
Very fun.
Yeah, it was just fun, and like I needed like a voice that was more exaggerated, so that when I did have the moments of when, especially in the beginning, when Gale was like, because there were a few times like early in where he would slip and just like mutter something under his breath, not in Galen's voice, which is like very purposeful. Like whenever he's by himself, he like drops out of character for like a split second, or like when if he gets like too like hurt or something, I think is like another time when he does it. And it's Galen Morales. It's so funny.
Yeah,
It's a very good voice.
Yeah.
a lot
And
of
then
fun.
it's just the fact that like he's from this goth ass family, and then he talks like that. He's the prep in a family of goths, and he talks like that.
All right, let's see. Brian?
All right, just
What?
ask it.
Yeah, why did you have Twister choose Orion as the god to focus his worship on?
Fuck if I know.
You just picked one randomly, pretty much?
Yup.
Isn't it the god of knowledge?
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck if I know.
The god of
Yeah.
knowledge, of spells.
Hey, I just want to let
Wisdom.
you guys know Twister's
Law and lore.
worst stat is intelligence. So yeah, just chose one. Turned out to be Orion. I was like, cool, okay, let's do it. Yeah, that's it. Sorry if you wanted a better answer.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Johnny?
Oh, because of the abilities that it gave me. I had no reason besides I got pluses in certain areas. Or
What?
is this a... Oh, sorry. I thought because we also picked like houses and gods and such. that
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
sorry.
go ahead and ask about that as well, for like why you wanted him to be within, why you picked like a dragon marked house, especially the one with the mark of finding.
Because, Nate, we were supposed to be investigating things, and
Yeah.
I needed a little bit of help because in the beginning he was very dumb.
All right. Stone. Okay.
What's up, Buttercup?
What? Why
What's up,
make
Buttercup?
Achaeus a runaway from his parents, and then a family man would lose a family of their own? Or Achaeus to run from one family and have the other taken away?
I wonder who did that, Nate.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
Yeah, Stone did all of that because Stone loves pain. Stone loves
Yeah.
making their characters be in pain.
Next character I'm making does not have any trauma going into it. I'm
I
just
don't
saying
believe
that.
that.
I
Sounds
really
like
don't.
sounds like it was
Um,
something a liar would say.
I mean, I didn't have any like specific plans of like the poetic thing of like, oh, he has family issues and then he gets a new family and then loses them immediately. Not immediately, it was several years. There was no like specific poetic like writing behind it. It was basically just I need this character to be from Sharn, but not in Sharn, and then return to Sharn, as I kind of said earlier. I feel like I prepared for this question, and I'm still not sure how to answer it.
To make an omelet, you got to break some eggs.
Yeah.
It's our familial connection.
Yeah, and then it like originally his family wasn't even going to be like a part of the story at all. It just kind of ended up naturally being like that. Yeah. That's basically it. It was just like, I need this to happen for this reason, for his story.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
It was just, yeah, that was just how the pieces fell together.
Okay. Any other questions y'all have before I start going into more individual questions?
No.
All right.
No.
I don't. None I can think of right now.
All right. Becca,
Hi.
what was your expectation of the real Galen's personality, as opposed to what Gale was told of it? What if the Galen that Gale played was just what Carmelina wished him to be instead?
It would have been so fucked up, but so funny. I mean, it wouldn't have been. It'd be truly tragic. Like, if I had met Galen and he had been, like, you know, completely different than how I'd been playing him the whole time. But I also think that was probably the more likely option, I think, in my own head, was that he would be very different than how I was. But it was a nice relief when he was just, oh, he is just a nice kind of, like, the dude's only, like, because I had started to think, like, oh, maybe he's not good when we didn't know what was up with Cheshire before we knew Cheshire was a dragon, and, you know, her recognizing Galen and, like, that whole scene where it was like, Carmelina was like, who the fuck is that? What do you mean you don't know who that is? Because I was like, oh man, is he cheating on his wife? But no, he turned out just to be a nice dude, and that's what I was hoping for, and then yeah. It would have been so fucked up if he was different, but I would have loved that. If he was just an asshole, oh.
Yeah, I will say it was a thing for like a couple seconds, sort of like, what if Galen? What if Galen is just actually an asshole? And then I was like, nah, that feels played out. I feel like it's nicer if he's a genuine family man just trying to do his best and forever stuck in the work that he loves and also feels is extremely necessary, so he doesn't get to spend as much time with his family as he wished he could.
Yeah. No, it turned out very, like, sweet, and I'm glad that it was that way, instead of me having to grow to hate this man that I had been pretending to be. But, yeah.
Alright. Ryan?
Hi.
What do you think would have happened to Twister earlier in the campaign if he lost his father to the Land of Dreams?
So, Twister would have definitely, you know, gotten those effects. Not being able to sleep, have like all that fear. He definitely would have went down a much darker path. Probably
You would have hated me. I was the main force pushing to close that thing.
I'm not even kidding.
Mhm.
I did have something, like, I was thinking about it. If this had happened, Twister probably at some point during like the final battle of a case
Mhm.
probably would have just fucked over Gale.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
Like, I think the next case, what was the next case after that?
The next
Or
case after that was with the Deniaths, I believe.
No, there are two cases after that, probably. You would have let
Okay,
it do a bit.
that 2 cases away from that was when Hallis was
The
back.
tremor.
Oh, the fucking the first Mordekash fight. Yeah. I think Twister would have just been at first subtle about it, just like not healing Gale as often. And then probably in the last the first Mordekash fight.
I
Probably.
went down in one of those, I
Yeah.
think.
I just would have been like, oh, I'm out of spell slots. And then I would have like tried to like heal him, and then I would have purposely failed to check.
That's so brutal. I would have had advantage on death saves though because I was reborn.
Yeah,
So-
but I would have failed the check, so you probably would have automatically failed the death save.
I don't think you auto fail. You auto fail when you I guess you'd have to sabotage it.
He's
Yeah.
just sitting there, just stabbing you repeatedly.
I can't do it. I can't do
I
it.
can't get him. It's not working.
But no, Twister would have had a vendetta against Gale. Probably, depending on how things go, probably would have left the agency. And yeah, it's something that I've never like went in depth on, but I know at the very least like that would have happened.
All right. Johnny,
Yes, sir.
why did you want Velveteen to become a wrestler? And what do you think his signature move is called?
Well, Nate, I would like to go back in time a bit to creating a character who's supposed to play off another character if that character left. And also because it's me, go follow the #1 entrance on Blue Sky. And B, it would be a leaping senton lariat, also known as a clothesline, known as the buckshot. But, you know, this is not something I've thought about at all.
All right. Thank you. Stone, what was it like for Arceus to be a character who was manipulated and used so often? Or to at least have complex and unhealthy relationships from parents that try to control his life as a young adult to a wannabe lich siphoning Arceus' soul and taking over their body?
Bad.
Also,
Next question.
Also, what would your wrestling finisher be?
Also,
What's your opinion
what
on
was
the
it like for
heart-shaped
me
pizzas?
to play the character?
Oh, for Arceus.
What was it like for Arceus?
Or for you, whichever way you want to answer this.
You know what? The
I can answer both. Rough.
Yeah.
I can answer both.
I was about to say that.
Difficult.
The answer to both is it was stressful. I mean, for Arceus, there was that kind of parallel with the parents of when he was growing up. They were very much trying to control. Especially his mom was trying to just like treat him like a mini me essentially, and be like training up on like, you know, musical stuff, which he did enjoy, and like trying to get him to be a performer. But then once he got to like, you know, teenage, like 15ish, he was like, he kind of got fed up with it and started being rebellious. And then that rebellious, you know, nature followed into with Idolines. But that ended up causing a lot more stress because like with Idolines, it was like this entire time he couldn't do anything. If he stepped out of line, you know, it was bad. It was a bad time, and he was constantly afraid that like if he did or said the wrong thing, he was going to wake up with the blood of, you know, the people he cares about on his hands. So that rebellious nature was at war, in conflict with him of like he wants to tell Idolines to go fuck themselves, and you know, do what they can to you know, at any turn, you know, fuck up Idolines' plans and rebel against them, but they couldn't. So it was very stressful for him to be at war with that nature and have to keep control of himself in a lot of ways. And then it was stressful for me because I had to deal with that headspace. Arceus was definitely a very much a learning experience for me of like, be careful what you're doing with your character and what you're putting them through. Be careful what you make.
Alright. Thank you for that. Becca?
Hi.
I'm gonna go a bit different order than I gave you because
What the
one of these
hell?
feels like it might be better as a more final question. So let's go with how much of both of your characters' backstories were designed at the start of the campaign, and how much came to be as the campaign went on?
I mean, Galen's was of what mattered for Galen was decided at the start. That he was a detective, that his mother was the ambassador to the Elves of Arenell, and that he had a wife who was a tailor and a kid who was in theater, and he was killed somehow. That was about all I really ever developed for Galen, like at all. And then for Gale, I had known he was originally from Stormreach, and that he had been traveling through Seer when the morning happened. I think it was later on when I added the fact that he was part of a circus. I think that came once the campaign had already started. Like I added, Char was always there. I think part of it in like what I originally sent you about Gale, but I don't know. They pretty much stayed relatively the same. Yeah. Like in the first thing I sent you, I mentioned he had an article of clothing that was a blah blah blah, a gift from his childhood best friend Char. Yeah. Like he always existed as a bard as well. So like that always was there, and he had always died or whatever in the morning. I changed it probably like 6 months in that he like was part like of a mercenary thing / like circus thing. But past that, that's all I really needed to know about them to kind of narrow down what I needed to know about them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Brian? What path would Twister have picked if Hallis had instead announced he was plotting against Mordekash, but to destroy Sharn again as revenge for his ancient grudge?
I mean, obviously, he would side against Hallis. Easy. No thought. He thinks, while Hallis was like not wrong, that would be going about it the wrong way. Because you plotting to destroy Sharn because of his own grudges would just further condemn people with aberrant dragon marks, and that's not something that Twister would want to be for at all, and would kind of be against him. So we would probably be in the situation where Hallis would be like a third party trying to intervene late in the game. So it's entirely possible that there could have been like Izameni versus Mordekash versus Hallis. That would have been a fun fight.
That would have been hot. That's a sandwich I want to be in the middle of. I hate that I said that.
I gotta go.
Oh, that's going to be on the internet
actually can't hang
now.
out anymore. No! Not me saying something that's stuck on the internet for forever. That's never happened to me before.
Yeah, me tungies.
Me tungies. This
Pill.
campaign has been brought to you by Me Tungies.
You can go ahead and use code Sharn at metungies.com now.
Don't worry.
I hope that's not a real website.
There'll be fan art of Char and Twister. No I'm kidding.
There better not be.
Nate, there are a lot
John.
of ridiculous websites out there, you know.
Google it. Safe search off.
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yes, sir.
It was made clear that Velveteen's mother had died a long time ago and also had to leave Velveteen behind before having a new family. How long did Velveteen know her? And what was his other parent like, if he knew them?
I mean, probably early adolescence, so probably 10, 11, maybe 12, depending. She left because of the dragon mark appearing, and she didn't want to deal with a child that was different. And the other parent, the father, blames said child for her leaving. And then things get really dark and murky there, and we're not going to go over how dark and murky, but it wasn't a great childhood.
Right. Thank you. Stone? what was your idea of what the true identity of Idolanes would be? Or did you never think about that past evil magic person, gaslight, gatekeep, girl bossing, Achaeus?
Originally, yeah, I didn't really think much about it, and I'm upset about myself. I'm upset at myself for that, because I think I mean, that was 3 years ago. I think now I could come up. I mean, I have actually rewritten Idolanes in a different setting to be a much more interesting character. No, I didn't really. It was like evil wizard who was looking to make a return, whose like soul had been put in the book and was looking to like make a return via taking over someone else's body. And I didn't really, I also, one of the things about the setting was I didn't know really much about the setting. So I was like, I don't know what I can and can't do here and what is actually like a thing in the setting. So I just kind of went really basic, and I'm like, damn, I have new ideas. I could have fun with this, but I also almost changed it mid-campaign at one point, but I was like, we're a little too far in for anything that it's too established at this point. I can't really do anything about it. So,
what would that change have been?
Fuck, because that was also like a year and a half
Okay.
ago that I was thinking of it. It was different from what I've thought of now. I know that for a fact, but yeah, I definitely, I would rewrite everything having to do with Idolanes. Just take everything that I have now and throw it out the window. Other than the main, like, takes over body and is a piece of shit and gaslight, gatekeep, girl bosses. I would take everything about them and just entirely throw it out and then rewrite it.
Alright, fair enough. Since some things were already answered by y'all with other questions as well, there's really only like, I guess, one more round of questions I have for you all that I've already got thought out. So,
Just
Becca?
perfect, because it's like almost 7 o'clock.
Yeah, there's that too. Becca, would Gale have let Galen take the body back if that meant Gale would be destroyed? How about especially after being reunited with Char?
I think being reunited with Char, he probably would have let that happen. I think that, like, because Gale's whole, like, personality is that he refuses to worry or care about himself, right? Like, that's kind of who he is as a person. So, like, he was already dead, right? He shouldn't be alive anyway, and like here he is, like, taking over this dude's body who has a family and like everything, and like has, an important role to play and like people that care about him. And he's like, well, I was already dead, so everyone's used to me being dead anyway, so I'll just give him back his body and then everything can be fine. After being reunited with Char, I think he would still lean that way. It would probably take him convincing to not have let... He would have been more, like, convincible, probably, but, like, I still think that, Gale himself would lean towards, like, no, I've got to give Galen this back, like, this... Because he would be like, oh, this is the only option, like, or else, like... Galen's lost forever, and then, like, I've broken this one promise to this, like, very nice woman who's been nice to me for no reason while I'm puppeting her dead husband's body. So yeah, I think that Gale would have done it. Unfortunately, for my poor stupid boy, but, he dies anyway. He is disintegrated horribly, and Nate did that to me.
There was the option for just dying of natural causes.
No.
That's boring.
That's boring. He wouldn't have died like that. He would have still died too young and not peacefully.
It's still something that fits for Gale and the path that he ended up taking.
Mm-hmm.
Brian?
I'm dreading this question. Oh.
Would Twister have bought his house in a case of being hostile to Hallis, including potentially fighting his parents?
Probably. Probably. He would be fully against it because I'm assuming this is also going off the previous question.
Yeah.
Where Hallis is planning to destroy Sharn, and House Tarkanen is backing him up on that. Twister would probably be against it. So he would try to convince his parents, like, hey, this is a fucked up idea. I'm against it. And if
Just
there's
like that.
yeah, and if they're like solid in their convictions and they're like, no, we're gonna help him, I'm like, sorry, no. And yeah, he probably would fight his parents. He would hate it. He would very much hate it, but he would still stick to his belief that, you know, everyone deserves a fair shake, and this is not a fair shake. I don't know. It's a difficult question. Because, like, I could say that, but I don't know how Twister feels in the moment.
Yeah.
Twister could answer a very different question. He could say yes under certain circumstances. Like, there are different points in the campaign where he would actually say yes to that. But yeah, I don't know.
Face down at the end against your parents. The force between you and saving Sharn.
Hey, you don't have to bring it up. Quit it.
Alright.
Well,
Johnny?
Don't worry, I would kill your dad for you.
Yes,
You've already
lad
tried
from
to do it.
Ohio.
There are technically two for you because both haven't really been answered. So let's go. Do you want to go fun first or depressing?
Depressing.
Alright. What is the greatest regrets of Velveteen's life?
Being born. Next question.
Alright. Did you expect Velveteen to turn into a force of nature when you created him?
I mean, hold on. Sorry. Sorry, I'm looking up. I mean, realistically, if you take enough, what is it? What's the word when you like pull from things they inspire you?
Inspiration.
When you take inspiration from one Metal Gear Solid Raiden or Raiden, depending on how you pronounce it, and then you become a machine, and then while you're doing combat, the only song you're ever listening to is Rules of Nature. I mean, you kind of enjoy it a little bit. It also didn't help the first feat you allowed me to take nullified any negative ability I would take in combat.
Yeah.
Could never
And
fail.
that's an official feat. It's not a homebrew one at all.
Nope.
Sharpshooter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not sharpshooter. It's the one from Critical Role that lets you go ahead and just shoot close range.
Gunner?
Yeah, that's it.
Gunner. Yeah.
Boy, that is very strong, especially with some of the guns that also allows.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also a homebrewed thing.
Yeah, well, it is homebrew, but made official.
Not really.
It was official in the sense of Nate allowed it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, it's in a
gunslinger's still
guidebook
not
that D&D sells.
Yeah, well, D&D also sells My Little Pony Dungeons & Dragons, and you wouldn't let me play a Pegasus.
I would
I
have
wanted
let
to play
you.
an Alicorn. I wanted to be the new Princess Celestia, and Nate said, friendship is not magic, go fuck yourself.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
Oh. Stone.
What's up?
Alright. I guess this will be ending on a fun one for you, after all of these depressing ones. What was it like to see so many bad rolls through the campaign where not even a lucky feat built into the homebrewed Vieira was any help? And what was it like to see fortune finally go your way from escaping a disintegrate spell as well as survive Mordekash, who by all means should have destroyed you?
Okay, I do, for the Mordekash thing, I do want to point something out. Where it was, yeah, kind of luck due to bad rolls, it was also good preparation on my part.
It was, yeah.
Of it, the combination of the leather armor that gave me a 19 AC, the health amulet, that or the not health, is that what it's called? The amulet of health.
Amulet of health.
Yes. That upped my constitution and upped my health by 20 points. And then also Gale and Twister taking hits for me, because I think at one point, so one of them took 6 and the other took 10, and then at one point I was at 16 health.
Yeah.
So those taking those hits for me actually was very useful, because if you hadn't, I could have gone down. And then I bought the health potion. So Mordekash, yeah, there was the luck of like, you kept fucking missing, but also if without these preparations, then I definitely would have gone down.
I think the final fight, no one went down.
No.
Hey.
Um,
Mordekash
I
was
was
rolling like
close.
shit that whole time.
I was close.
Twister was also close.
With my preparations and also help from my friends.
Galen was fine.
Galen's
never
just
got
fucking
hit.
You're so
staring
fucking
down.
smug.
Hey, I have a question for Galen. How
Yes.
What
is up?
How was it facing down a demon that big and not get hit?
Well, it was a normal Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, on this side of work, I mean, what were we going to do? Lose? No, the prophecy said we wouldn't lose. So what was there to be afraid of?
I will
Fair.
say, I did have like Rocktal Kesh's rolls turned down a bit because like, I mean, you're not really facing full force at this point, but still, they were rolling like natural 2s, 3s, and 4s for all that, with that disadvantage because of the protection from evil and good. So that,
Well, and I couldn't be charmed by
yeah,
it.
you couldn't be charmed either. So it's like, oh my god, Galen is the ultimate force against Rocktal Kesh right now.
Galen's a
What the hell?
badass.
Brian, can you ask me the same question, please?
Yeah, sure. What was it like facing down the might of a demon and not get hit?
Oh, well, Brian, you see, the day before, Nate himself made a deal with the devil, and I was ensured that I wasn't going to die, so that last combat was nothing but aces.
You're telling me the game was rigged from the start?
The game was
Ring a
rigged
ding
from the
ding?
start.
Oh my
What are
I
you
was
gonna do
always
after?
winning.
What are you gonna do after this, Velveteen?
That's a good question.
He's gonna go to Disney World.
No. I'll have to unfortunately find someone else to play games with because Donut might be dying, so it's who I betrayed in that moment, but
Yes.
Alright, but that was
But-
also everything from me individually. If there are any other questions y'all
I
have.
have more to say.
No, if there are any more questions y'all have, I'm not stopping it right now.
no, they have more to say about
I have more to say about the
rolls.
question you asked me.
Oh, sorry.
Well, like, so the entire time, like, yeah, I had the lucky feat where if I rolled a nat 1, then I could re-roll. And then at one point, I rolled another nat 1. Which was just, it, like, I did, like, go back and average out all of my, like, D20 rolls, to, like, and they were all average. Like, it was, like, the average was, like, 10, and it's like, this is just bad. And of course, my wisdom score was really bad, too. I fucked with myself from the beginning.
Once you fixed your wisdom score, though, you rolled fine.
Yeah.
The issue was that, like, you just rolled ass when your wisdom was garbage, but then when you made it better, you stopped rolling bad.
Well, there were points where I was like rolling like 2s and 3s and 4s. Like there were times where I was just rolling low,
Yeah.
but not nat ones. And it like was consistently like that.
Yeah, but
yeah, the
then when
wisdom
you
score-
raised your wisdom, you stopped rolling that low.
The wisdom score, yeah, that definitely did.
Somehow you hacked the rest of the system.
Okay.
She agrees.
Arceus no longer makes the Arceus rolls. The disintegrate spell though, that was wild and incredibly stressful.
I think
Oh
you.
yeah,
oh,
if it was gonna hit you, I was gonna take that hit for you.
I would not have let you done that.
Too bad.
No,
I'm pretty sure you also
No.
only beat the disintegrate by like what 2 or 3.
it was very close, and it was only because I think I had
Emboldening
I used-
Bond?
no, I had a hero point. I used a hero point, and I rolled
That's-
max on the hero point. Emboldening Bomb did help. I think I had Emboldening Bomb.
Yeah, you did.
We're
Oh,
basically just like
'cause
let's stack everything we possibly
That's
can.
how Gale would have taken the hit for you.
Yeah,
Golden Bond.
yeah, right. And
Which Twister would have probably never forgiven himself.
I would have been so upset. Arceus would have been upset, but I would have been upset. Like you motherfucker.
Yeah, you Stone would have been upset at me, Becca.
Yes, I've been like, why the fuck did you do that? You not only just
Oh my God.
took out Gale, but you also took out Galen.
Wait, but we
Like,
have
how-
a true
how would it-
resurrection. We have true resurrection.
And then I don't get my daughter back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Twister probably would have asked for the scroll and used true resurrection.
We would have true resurrected Gale back, and then Arceus would have punched him in the face.
But then
Like,
what
immediately
would have
off-
happened to Galen?
That's also like the good point of like what would have happened if Gale in Galen's body got disintegrated.
If I had true resurrected
What would have happened to both
that
of them?
pile of, if I had true resurrected that pile of ash, would I have gotten Gale or would I have gotten Galen?
Well, true resurrection's not based on the body parts, it's based on the intent.
So the intent would have been Gale,
And then I would have punched Gale in the face.
and then Gale would have been like,
And then I
"Fuck
would have
you."
died.
Yeah,
What, you come back at 1 when true resurrection?
I have a question actually for Stone.
Who?
For Stone,
Dramatic. What's up?
would you ever be open to the idea in the future that you're, say, like Twister gained the ability to get resurrection? Would you ever, would there ever be the opportunity to resurrect your spouse, or would you rather that stay shut?
I think it would very much depend on how long it would take. Like how long like if it was like maybe like a year or so, like within a few years of all this happening, especially with especially when Lily is, small.
Mhm.
Maybe like probably yeah. But I mean, at some point, Arceus has to move on and fully accept it, and once Lily's old enough to like be a real person and have it, be explain that her other parent is dead. Arceus would never tell her how it happened.
Oh yeah, killed your parent.
Yeah, Arceus would lie entirely, never tell Lily about idolatries, essentially. So it would just very much depend on how long after everything Twister would get that ability.
Got it. Because he's only 2 levels away from resurrection, so
Well, what is what do you
7th
need for-
level.
Okay,
I
but
need
like,
1,000 gold diamond. I believe.
but like, what's the
Century.
time? Oh, a
Century.
century.
The
Century.
resurrection? Yeah.
Wow.
The only drawback is if I cast it on someone that's been dead for a year or longer, I cannot cast spells and I have disadvantage on everything until a long rest.
Well, that would be on a day that you're gonna go sleep. 2 levels away.
2 levels away. Literally 2 levels away.
Well, now I don't.
Did we level up at the end of the game?
Yes, we did. We went to 11.
I did say that by the time that Gale meets that final end, that Twister would be like level 15 or 16.
And you need a body. That was what.
I do need a body.
But that Gale came to the final end
20 years later.
years later.
And it was Disintegrate. So
Yeah.
Well, that's different. I'm not asking about me. I'm dead. My final death. There's no
and
resurrection.
even with that, True Resurrection requires like 25,000 in time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we probably not resurrect Sienna. Just
Okay, that's fair.
I think it would take too long for you to get to that level, and
Let's finally move on.
yeah,
Yeah.
AKS
over
moves
it.
on. Get over it.
Get over the fact you killed your spouse.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like
come
that.
on, what
The one
fuck?
person who you fell in love with is dead, and you killed them. Yeah. Interesting question, though, Brian.
Thought I'd ask.
It's a good idea.
Well,
Any other questions y'all have, or anything you feel like is unanswered that you'd like to figure out now?
I'd like to know how this cat's so dang cute.
Look at her. I love her so much.
Genetics. Next question.
Okay.
Okay, if there's
I think that's it.
if there's nothing else, then that's a wrap on Sharn. Unless we ended up wanting to get to a one-shot or a mini-series sometime in the future.
In the event that we do, I'm not playing a case.
Okay.
No offense.
Letting him just be a family man.
Officially retired. Like, I understand the contract and everything. I physically cannot do it again. Let the man be retired.
Okay. In which case, with this wrap of Shadows of Sharn, it's been
Yeah, it's been.
a pleasure and an honor
3 years.
to help to be the GM for this campaign for the last 3 years and over 80 episodes. It's been great to be among 4 amazing friends throughout this whole journey, as well as those who stopped on by at different periods. The city of Sharn may continue to hold many secrets, many dark cases within, but there will always be people to help solve these mysteries, bring peace to those who find violence, whether it be the eyes of many or those inspired by them. Sharn will continue, thanks to their heroic efforts on one fateful day. And so I hope that everyone continues holding this story dearly to them, or has fond memories going into the future as well. Thank you all so much. And thank you all for watching as well. Thank you for being here through this journey. And I guess I'll go ahead and give one final round of goodbyes as we once again say who we are, who we've been, and where else you can find us if you wish to continue seeing us after these mysteries have been solved. Becca?
Hello, I've been Becca. You can find me anywhere that I am worth finding as Cool Armadillo. Speaking of epilogues, it's epilogue season, baby. Because you can go over to twitch.tv/talkingxp on Monday for the epilogue of Ravenloft Misfits. We're finally getting back to it. We're finally resolving all of that, so you can check that out. Like I said, it's twitch.tv/talkingxp at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. And I just, you know, I might show up there for a few other things that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about yet. But you know, just keep an eye out. And there's another thing that I might be showing up on that I don't know if I want to talk about or if someone else in this call wants to talk about.
So much to talk about.
Do you want me to talk about it?
No, I don't mind talking about it.
Okay, great.
Nate, can I go last?
Sure, we can have you go last then.
Okay, I have so much I have to talk about.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you, Becca.
Thank you, Nate, for
Stone?
killing my character.
Stone?
Oh, I'm going now. Okay. Hello, I am Stone. You can find me on Blue Sky at Hello I'm Stone or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Hello I'm Stone, where unfortunately, due to me being in school, I have not been able to do a lot. But however, this week we have more Call of Duty Zombies on Wednesday with Johnny, Ricky, and Simon. So that's exciting. And then we'll see what else I have for the week. Maybe I'll do more homework while playing web fishing. That was fun. That was a nice chill time. I got my personal narrative written, so that was cool. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And I'll see y'all later.
Thank you, Stone. Brian?
Hi, I'm Brian. You can find me on Blue Sky at Cosmic Zeta. You can find me on Twitch, occasionally streaming. Cosmic Zeta. I'm gonna be in another thing. I don't know if I can talk about it yet, but you know, that's it.
Alright. Thank you. Johnny?
Hi. So I have to gather my breath here because I have a lot, because I do a lot of things on the internet. Hi, my name is Johnny, also known as It's Johnny Rose. You can follow me over at Blue Sky at It's Johnny Rose or on Twitch at It's Johnny Rose. But also, if you're into wrestling, follow us on YouTube and on Blue Sky at its #1 entrance. But also, if you like podcasts done by a panda and a dog, feel free to go to subscribe to Farting Hearts channel, where the Borfin Boys do podcasts. But again, we circle back to the Twitch, where this week we have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 different collabs this week. Starting tomorrow at 2:30 EST, Lockdown Protocol. Monday with Ninja, we're doing Fortnite. The other show on Monday, I don't know if it's gonna happen. After that, we have Call of Duty, and in between that and Saturday, we have potentially Metal Gear Solid 2 with Tyler, aka Clyde Medusa. And then on Thursday, we're back in the Borderlands 3 with Clyde, aka Rachel. And just made official, even though we've been talking about it for a little bit, this upcoming Saturday, it feels weird to say a Saturday stream. Nothing against you, Nate. I loved it here. We will be starting Silent Hill with one Becca Morgan.
Hi.
It'll be fun. And then also check me out at Tales from the Tabletop later this month, what I'm part of, not 1, not 2, but 3 different one-shots. So
You're
yay.
booked and busy.
Yeah, no, it's funny as I actually had to move one because I was double booked and that one had tech difficulties, so I went, can I just hop back in here? And they're like, yeah. So yeah. Welcome to February. The 15th, we're halfway done. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Johnny. Also excited that for all the business that you've got going on. And thank you all as well. Look forward to all of your projects and seeing what I can when I can. Gotta make sure to support you all. On my side of things, you can find me on Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, at ScumRazillicong. Streams coming up for this week. Well, first two are a little bit doubtful because of illness concerns for someone. There might be a network test with a couple people tomorrow for Night Rain, playing some of that. There might be a board game with Tart, Johnny, and Donuts on Monday as well for like playing Four Souls. Tuesday, Uno 5K Points of Hell gets back together again. Oh no. Thursday, don't really have anything set right now. Might be going ahead and playing some Final Fantasy 14, just doing some random stuff there. Friday, gonna be going back with a Grunt rotation as we play GTFO again, or maybe something else, something fun comes up.
I forgot about GTFO.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And Saturday got Settlers of Catan with some new faces, most of whom I've never actually played with before. And Sunday, gonna be playing some Ludo and other Clubhouse games with Light, Spencer, and Patrick for a midday stream. And going forward as well, there will be another campaign starting sometime next month. Forlorn Dirge, a grimdark fantasy setting campaign that'll be taking place in a homebrew setting of my own creation. With
Teacher.
yes,
Brian's a part of it, isn't he?
yeah. Brian is one of the players. The other three that will be in there are Incandescent Rider, Seabody, and Gamekind. So there'll be some new faces here as well. I'm excited to go ahead and get into this. This has been a project that I've been working on for a few years, especially putting together like the overall setting. And I'm hoping people enjoy it. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here as well. Again, thank you all for being here, either as players or viewers, supporters of any kind for the last few years. Goodbye, everyone. Hope you all take care. I love you all. Have a fantastic week, month, year, anything ahead. Love you all. Bye now.
Bye. Mayday, say goodbye.